All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another podcast. I'm joined by the same guests as I was joined last time. And the reason that is because the last time we spoke, we had a gigantic conversation surrounding all these class changes and Elgacia. And now that Elgacia has finally hit and the class changes have finally hit, at least on the class changes side, a lot has changed. But I also wanted to use this podcast or this episode as an opportunity to talk about Valtan, Summer Lost Ark, and anything else that you guys wanted to talk about. Because I feel like there were some topics that were kind of left. I think bots is another topic I want to talk about. That's a big conversation in the community right now. I'm not going to spend any time introducing you guys because I already introduced you guys last week and we can save some time there. I'll have all of their socials linked down below, and I recommend you check them out because they are great content creators and people that I watch regularly. So I think you guys would find some fun there. Also, a quick announcement before we get into it. I know some people want me to bring on new guests and things like that. I'm working on a couple potentially really cool guests that I can't announce yet, but you can be on the lookout for that. And I'll do a couple more of those in the near future. So you can expect, I think, more podcasts than normal just because I want to get through some of the guests that you guys really want to see. Okay? Just don't want to say any names yet because if I do, it's rude to the guest itself. All right? So let's first talk about Elgacia. Okay? I spent a shitload of time watching Zeal's stream and Ohbenji's stream and ATK's stream and Saint's stream because you guys were all doing the new dungeon that was located in Elgacia. But I wanted to first talk about the MSQ. How many of you guys actually, I know Saint did, the MSQ of Elgacia? Did you guys spend any time, reading through that?
Sorry, what's MSQ?
Main story quest.
Oh, really?
Saint,
Is that what it stands for? Okay,
Saint, what did you
sorry.
think about the MSQ? Because I know you went through it.
Normally with most stories, I just G through that and then I just go back at a later time. But with Elgacia, since this is content that we've been waiting for basically like 8 years, I've been waiting for years to actually visit this place. I thought it would be cool to actually just like sit down and actually read through everything. Which was nice, but this also turned out to be the longest quest ever in the game. And if you G through everything on this quest,
I think we're laughing. They're laughing because they can hear your Zelda music or something in the background. Yeah.
oh shit, my bad. If you G through literally everything in the quest, it's still like 3 to 4 hours.
I know.
And I read through everything slowly and did translations for my chat. And in total, I was in that quest for 14 hours.
Dude, wait, 14 hours?
14 hours.
I thought you were just stalling on your stream or something. That was insane. 14 hours?
Going through it as slow as I could and reading through everything. But if you G through everything, it's around 3 to 4 hours.
I G spammed it. Okay, and I just want to share this experience and maybe anyone else can chime in on this. I G spammed this MSQ, okay? Like I G spam all the MSQs. Okay, now this one in particular, when I did it, it was in Korean. So I have no idea what anyone's saying at all. And I was, up until the very end, I'm like, this is the worst MSQ experience I've ever done in Lost Ark. That's what I was telling myself. I was in Discord with my friends. I'm like, this is terrible. Because it was so much talking. Now, I know I'm G spamming it. But the ending of it, I'll have spoilers, by the way, this is going to be marked as spoilers, okay? So if this is spoilers for anyone that wants to know, the ending of it was one of the most insane endings, and that was crazy. Like, I legitimately thought it was so fucking epic to watch. The cutscenes were sick. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, right? I had no idea what was going on, but the fight scene and then all of the characters coming together and the ending scene. I know Zeal's, I remember coming into your stream and asking you to kind of like, you need to go faster, you need to go faster. But did you get to catch any of that? Any of the ending fight scenes and just the ending scene of Elgacia in general?
Mine bugged out.
You had a bug?
Yeah, my cutscene bugged out.
What happened to it?
There were a few bugs.
So, Yeah. There was some maintenance for that, but there were like the fight scene and the boys, like there's like people coming out, and then there's no sound. So there's a
Oh, that
clip, but no sound.
Oh, that ruins it. That sounds like one of the best parts of it.
Yeah, I was so sad. It
Wow.
was like
'Cause
time to do it again.
climax.
Time to do it again.
for me the I got sound and it was just so fucking epic. I thought like it reminded me like one of those Final Fantasy experiences where you're just going through this MSQ and it's so boring and then you get a really good cutscene. But compared to what else exists in the game, I thought it was so fucking good. Benji, I know we were all in Discord watching you go through it, all of my friends. Your sound bugged too, but we were all in Discord watching you because we wanted to rewatch it and see what you thought about it. And I think the sound did fuck it for you, but what did you think about it overall? Because I know you kind of understood and you were reading a lot of it.
Yeah, so I was translating for the chat every dialogue, and it took me like 6-7 hours. I just can't believe that they were holding on to this. I mean, they started developing this. The first trailer of Elgacia was out 7 years ago, right? And I can't believe that they were holding this even when their game was about to fail like 1 to 2 years ago. They were just waiting for the right time, and it was, it was great. The story, the production quality, everything was great. Even though the sound did bug, like I didn't really notice it because I was just awed. I was just dumbfounded. It was, yeah. I really liked it.
Okay, but Saint, you said that. Do you really? Okay, so it was in the original trailer, right? And I think the zone, we could all agree, right? Looks, in my opinion, it's the best looking zone in the game. Visually, has the most detail. It is definitely flashbang, but I think it's visually the best in the entire game, right?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
What were we gonna ask? Sorry, go ahead.
Do you really think? Because I know that there is the scene with where the two guys are like the sword giant like statues are like connecting. You know what I mean? That one scene where there's two giant statues.
Yeah, iconic one.
Do you really think that this zone in particular has been in development for 8 years, 7 years, or just the idea of it, the concept of it? We have something like this in World of Warcraft called the Dragon Isles. That was supposed to be in the original World of Warcraft, right? And then now we're getting an expansion called the Dragon Isles. But I don't personally believe they've been working on the Dragon Isles for 8 years, right? So,
well, it's clear that when they were first creating Lost Ark, the story that Elgacia is, or that we experience in its quest line, is probably what they started off with, like with Lost Ark. Like the story begins here, and that means that everything before Elgacia it's literally prologue stuff to the actual start of the game. And so when we first saw Lost Ark 8 years ago in G-Star, a lot of the stuff that's in Elgacia today was shown back then, and a ton of the footage that they showed in that trailer back then was from Elgacia. So I would say that they had a lot of this stuff already made, but maybe they just polished it and made it look nicer over time. And one of the things that would lead me to believe that they only started working on some of this stuff recently is the actual fights themselves are insane. If you compare Elgacia's fights, and I'm sure we'll get to this topic later, compared to like Araya or something, night and day difference.
yeah.
And yet, the story and everything that was going on related to this story was from 8 years ago. They probably didn't think that mechanics had to be so complicated and so outlandish back then.
Yeah. By the way, say I don't know if I still pick up a little bit of your music, just very light. I don't know.
Oh yeah, sure, I can lower it more.
Yeah, we can just hop into that. Well, I was going to ask you guys about the city, but let's talk about the dungeon since you're talking about it. Zeals, what do you think about the dungeon?
I was really worried that the dungeon was gonna be super easy, and we're gonna be done and bored again. But I'm really glad that it was pretty well tuned. Yeah, I wish there was just more stuff like that, but it takes a lot of time. get the stuff out. So I was really happy with it though.
Bro.
What do you think about it, ATK, after you fix your camera? This is a scum start, huh? What do you think about it, Benji, while ATK fixes his camera? What do you think about it?
Yeah.
It was fun. The dungeon fight, everything. But what I liked the most was how like I was able to play with some of the fellow streamers
Yeah.
and make great content out of it. That was my favorite part.
You guys played for like 20, like it was insane. The first day, I remember you guys were on for 20 hours or something. And then the next day you were back at it again. And Zeals is like, what is going on, dude? I was so scuffed, dude. Zeals' camera goes black and white. Zeal, and then
Started off so good.
and
Yo,
then
what happened to
ATK's
my
camera
what happened to that
spun now,
camera,
bro.
dude?
I think you have to reset. There you
Okay,
go.
there
There
you go.
you go. I don't know what happened to your camera. Are you using a?
Dude, it has to be Discord, man.
Did you open up OBS? Because that one will do it to you.
No, I didn't do anything. I didn't touch anything.
Well, disconnect it and reconnect it. Whatever. I mean,
let me try.
yeah, try fixing it.
Keep going.
So, I feel like the dungeon in particular. So a lot of people don't know this. So again, the Elgacia is the new continent in Lost Ark, and unlike the other, like Rowan, right? We had Rowan. This feels a lot bigger than Rowan, right? Elgacia feels a lot bigger than Rowan. Rowan brought a lot of content with it, but Elgacia is similar to like Punika, where it has its own Abyss dungeon. But the dungeon, like quality, I don't know how long were they working on this, because did anyone else think that this patch was going to be that big? I didn't think. My editor, so I have a KR editor, right? He was thinking that this was going to be a really small patch and that the zone was going to be whatever, the dungeons are going to be easy. And so when I saw the dungeon, I thought it was way crazier than I thought it was going to be. And the detail in the dungeon, the fights look crazy, right? Did you guys think that this dungeon, I know you said it was challenging, you wish it was more, but did you guys think it was going to be that much effort, or were you expecting this?
I wasn't expecting it to be that hard because abyssal dungeons, historically aren't that difficult. Like at most they would take you a couple hours, but the second fight of the second dungeon, we spent 8 hours total doing it, which is way longer than an abyssal dungeon has ever taken me to learn blind before. So it was definitely much more challenging than I expected. But that was jumping into the highest difficulty right from the get-go. I don't know how different the like hard 2, hard 1, and normal mode are. If the 1581 was meant to be designed to be that much more challenging.
Has anyone done any of the other difficulties?
Not yet, no.
Just only. What do you guys think about the 3 levels of difficulty? So there's normal, hard 2, and hard 3, right? What do you guys think about that? As a concept, go for it, Benji.
Oh, there's normal. There's normal and then hard 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's fair. I think that's fair because not everyone's gonna be at 1580. There's a lot of people around 1540, early 1500s, and I guess they're giving a lot of, well, it's really hard RNG, but there is definitely merit to playing 1580, the wing mount, and the Esso Aura. But then they also have some good stuff for hard stage 1 and 2 as well. So yeah, I think it's really fair. It's a fair system.
All right. And before we move on to the next topic, I just wanted your guys' thoughts on the city. Are you disappointed? Do you like Punika better? Or do you think the city is...
It's so bright, dude.
It is too bright, yeah.
Dang, that's your takeaway. Okay. What do you think about it, ATK?
I think it's fine because saying
You
your
go
room is
outside,
like
though.
yeah.
I mean-
Saint's room is like it's a cave there, man.
Yeah, I live like a
it's definitely
gremlin.
right
I've
there.
got sensitive eyes, cataracts.
Zeals, what do you think about the city? Do you like Punika better, or just overall? What do you think about the city?
I think just needs getting, because it's like a sky place. You gotta like port around. Okay. can access the harbor, so
Mm.
it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I don't know. No more lies, so it's good.
Dude, I specifically noticed there's less NPCs because, dude, like when you're in Punika, you literally can't find a spot away from the Lai. Like, there's nowhere to go in that fucking zone where someone's not lying in your ear or like splashing waves, like two girls splashing waves at you. It is so obnoxious. Whereas, dude, it's so
There's that
bad.
little
I
girl
guess
like,
it
Mom,
costs
can I
them,
go in the water? I'm like, shut. I'm trying to.
I'm trying to hone. I'm in a dark
Trying to
place
hone,
right now.
dude.
I'm out of mats. I'm trying to hone right now. I'm in a dark place. I don't need to be hearing that shit.
Did you know the Elgacia stone carver is a machine?
A machine.
The NPC.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There's no NPC. You can't blame the NPC, anymore. Yep.
I think this for me, the city. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just like a sucker for that stuff. I like the angel aesthetic. I like light, bright stuff. I don't know. That's just me. I've always thought it was super cool, and I think the zone is like. I just like everything about it. So I guess I am on the other side of the spectrum. I'm in a really bright room. Saint's in a really dark room. I guess it makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the class changes. And before we go into the actual class changes, because a lot of people don't know that the last time we talked, I asked you guys your biggest winners, your biggest losers, and it's not even the same at all, right? Like what we talked about there, they ended up going, Smilegate kind of just went back on some of the changes that they did, toned them down, and it added additional buffs, right, to certain classes, okay? And it's not what we recommended in the last video, which is really why I wanted to do this, because some people, maybe they were playing War Dancer, maybe they were looking, because we said War Dancer is the biggest winner, some people said that. Soulfist was the biggest loser, right? That's what we said the last time, okay? But the topic I wanted to start with is that Smilegate, their approach to balancing. Okay, so the first thing I want to ask you guys, and we'll start with you, Benji. Do you think Smilegate does a good job at balancing? And we'll go each person here.
Relatively, I think they do a good job of balancing. I mean, balancing is never going to satisfy every single class for the different fights, and there's different type of fights. But generally, I think they do a good job of balancing classes. Yeah.
What about you, Saint? You think they do a good job?
Good job in the sense that there's no such thing as like a dead class, you know? You look at some other MMOs and some classes are just like, they're just like straight up ostracized for even existing. At least like when you see a Deadeye player, you just assume that they play out of their mind because they're crazy enough to play Deadeye. And the same thing with Soulfist to a degree. But it's kind of interesting how they handled some of the changes and how they kind of went back a little bit on some of them, just strictly on the premise of the feedback, which was new for this time. We normally don't get to give feedback before changes. Normally the changes happen and then the feedback comes after, not, hey, this is what we want to do. Then we get to give feedback before it goes live, and it made a huge difference.
Yeah,
so that was cool to see.
You actually talked about that. I remember when the PTR came out, you were saying that I see y'all. So I was in your stream too, and you were talking about that. It kind of it didn't really do what it set out to do because people were freaking out already with the PTR changes, right? Prices were changing, economy. I mean, even in NA we saw it, right? Like the prices of engraving skyrocketed, and right, people were reacting so quickly to the PTR news. How do you think the PTR played out, and what do you think about Smilegate's balancing overall?
I watched a lot of like Korean content creators, especially like Posha's opinion on the balance patch. He was very disappointed. Right? He was like, where is the 7 months of the internal data they always say? So like the entire Korean base that are complaining are also quoting him saying, yeah, there is no internal data. It's just always about feedback. Whoever cries the most, complains the most, gets their way.
Okay, you hit this is the topic. I'll let ATK fix his camera again or whatever. And ATK.
What? I mean, yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's always
You and
it's
Tech
always
do not
freezing.
go well together.
I mean, dude,
Yeah, man.
me and ATK were with Saint watching Loa on. Okay, this man's microphone sounded so bad for like 8 hours straight. It turns out the dude's microphone was facing the wrong way. He was talking into the back of his microphone for 8 hours.
No, more like a couple of months because of I've been using that ever since, right?
It's so confusing because he has a nice expensive mic. I was like, there's no way it should sound like that.
It was so bad for 8 hours, and then the next day you found out it was backwards. I think if you just disable your camera being able, it'll come back.
People can't be perfect, man. It's too much stuff. It's too much.
Too much tech.
Yeah, it's too much tech.
Yeah, that happens at your age. Listen.
Yeah, just call your grandson to set it up for you.
But this is the point. My thing is, I wonder if there's a potential problem in Lost Ark, because what Zeal said is that whoever cries the most. Does Lost Ark have a problem because people invest so much into their characters, and whether it be time or money, that Smilegate is nervous to go hard on any type of nerf or changes, or because look at the reaction, dude. Like Classic gets 6% nerf, people are freaking out, right? Berserker's dead, people are really upset, right? And then I think Zeals, you're saying the GS community is not even happy or something as an example, right?
They're not happy.
So is Smilegate in a weird position where people invest a lot of time in your class? You don't have these tier resets happening. You're not going to be doing a tier reset in hard reset in tier 4. What do you think this is an issue where players are too invested in their classes to make any changes, and it's going to upset people too much if they do? Hey, I spent so much money on this class. How are you gonna nerf it?
Well, I think, yeah, they just consider the feedback too much, and I think a lot of the higher end, I guess, like people like Posha and stuff like that, they wanted like a strict balance patch this time, and then with the second wave and the third wave adjust. But yeah,
Saint, what do you think?
I don't know.
You can keep going. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
I just thought it was a little weak, but
yeah,
it was definitely on less extremes. You know, during the PTR, they nerfed Igniter Sorcerers by like 10%. I thought that was actually kind of fair. And then when the changes actually went live,
I mean, this ATK is a sabotage, man. This man is DCing. He's just gonna. I mean, are you okay? Are you asleep, ATK? God, okay, you're back. All right, just kidding. Anyway, keep going. It's okay if it happens, guys. You can just keep going. It's all good. It's not a big deal. People listen to this.
I mean, it freezes if it freezes again, I can just keep.
Sure. No, don't stress about it, brother. I'm just teasing you, man. Don't feel bad about it.
So adding on top of that stuff. So balancing in general, though. So here's the thing. Balancing is tough because let's say there's 10 people, right? You can't satisfy all 10. Now you know that, right? And let's say if you usually I guess if you're like a balancing person, you would need to satisfy maybe 50%, over 50%, right? Then you don't have a problem. For Lost Ark though, there's an issue where, so I know why people are complaining as well for like let's say Gunslinger, right? The issue is Gunslinger is population is really high, right? Compared to like other classes. And the problem is the people who complain the most usually are the guys who actually don't know much. And this is like the same thing for League of Legends. You know, where League of Legends you see
that's like everything.
Yeah, it's like it's the same thing, but it's like an extra much. Because like if you look at it, they're complaining, let's say this guy is like complaining about Gunslinger. And oh fuck, my camera's like broken again.
You're good. Don't worry about it, brother.
Anyways, yeah. So they didn't even beat like Cuckoo or something, right? There are some of those guys, they complain, but they never show like how far they have, trained their character up. And then they're talking about balancing, right? And then the other guy just like argues back and it's just like an argument of back and forth because everyone thinks that if you cry hard enough, they're gonna change the stuff, right? But that's not always the case. Like let's say they just do it a little bit, but it doesn't really impact as much what they've been trying to do. So right now, it is not that there's two parties. It's like, oh, the gunslinger shit, it is not as bad as you think, right? And they're attacking each other because people are saying, oh, it is really bad. But again, there's a party of saying it is not as bad as you think. And then the other party is saying, oh, it is fucking bad. They have to delete the character. And then usually this overwhelming fight is just like going over and over. That just doesn't fix anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going on for at least certain classes. And this stuff happens when you have a class with a lot of population, right?
What do you?
And let's say,
I was going to ask, what do you think about? We'll finish the thought and then I'll go on. I don't want to take you off of it. Keep going. Sorry.
Oh no. I'm about done.
Well, I was really interested in what Zeal's had to say about it being weak because, I mean, it's kind of like that happens in a lot of games. You know what I mean? It's like the player base starts to like. Sometimes this is like a thing with every game, right? Like every game has this thing where you want the developers to listen to the player base, but then when it comes to anything, when you let the player base guide and dictate too much, then sometimes it leads like the game down a bad route, right? So what do you? I guess Benji, let you chime in on this. What do you think about the balancing? Do you think them going back on some of these changes towards, let's say, Zerker, for example, Sork, for an example, right? Sork's nerf was lessened, right? All of the nerfs were really lessened. Do you think it was fair? Some people would argue that it's a good mentality to like bring up underperforming classes and barely tune some, keep everything very strong. How do you feel? Do you think it was weak?
I don't think. I think what they did was proper. I guess get some feedback from the PTR changes, and actually listening to the community. Like for Sophist, for example, if the changes from the PTR had gone live, DPS aside, Sophist would have had to reconstruct their whole tripods and everything over again.
Yeah.
And that would have been a really, really horrible situation for Sophist mates.
Yeah.
Like 1.4 whatever percent of the Sophist might have quit.
Yeah.
Like they would go like
when the player
extinct.
base is 1.6.
Yeah, they could have gone extinct.
I think what the Korean players are saying is not about like if like something they change like a playstyle and it's just irrational, right? Like Soulfist. Okay,
Yeah.
those like go through feedbacks. PTR is great, but then when it comes to number crunching and they're going off internal data, then why are they reversing stuff? Why don't they just trust their math, right? Like most people are just like, why are they doing these rollbacks, right? Because like they're just getting scared, right? Because of the opinions and feedbacks and stuff like that. Like, because like 8 days of PTR, like nobody's doing bread shots at hard mode, right? They didn't force us to do it. There's no incentive to do it. People are just beating up training dummies, which is not actually
good.
Data. It's garbage.
Yeah,
also,
so where is the
also
7
we have
months
to
of
add
numbers?
also have to add like an important point is like, would you spend like 100K on a side grade, right? For like instead of an upgrade. That's why you get mad too. Because Gunslinger, you change 2 skills, right? Those both 2 skills have like 3 tripods each. If you're unlucky, you spend like 50K plus payons and stuff. But essentially the DPS doesn't increase as much. It's just a change of playstyle.
Yeah.
But people, if people are like, oh, this is just a little better, it's like a 2-3% increase of DPS, right? Or you're gonna spend 100K or you're gonna spend 200K on that side grade, right? Just to make it better. And people get upset about that because like, oh, I don't want to spend all this stuff just to get that much of an upgrade or that much of a side grade.
Well, that's my point. This is. Do you want to say something, Benji? You can go for it.
Yeah, it's just a quick little thing.
Yeah.
So in the PTR, me and my friends were doing some testing. We had a first intention war dancer and a gunslinger. The gunslinger was 1590 and the first intention war dancer was 1570. And the first intention war dancer was beating gunslinger. So in the
Yeah.
PTR with the buffs, it was actually a bit overperforming a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty maxed out in their own sense. Like they have good gems, good tripods, and whatever. They both have good hands. You know, they're both like very experienced players. They've been playing since OBT, and actually, if the PTR changes had gone through as is, it might have been a bit more chaotic, I think.
Yeah,
They were
this is
basically the test server was his test server, you know, just testing things out.
I thought it was done
Okay.
well though overall because like we only had one round of feedback. We only gave them one round of feedback, and then they were like,
Yeah.
"Okay, that's enough for us. Close the server, make some changes, push it live,
Yep.
and then however players react."
Mhm.
If the Soulfist changes had gone live the way they were,
Would have been very
Smilegate would
bad.
have missed the mark. They would have missed the mark, and
Yeah.
the class's damage ceiling would have gone down rather
Yeah.
than stayed the same. Even if it meant the class was, even if it meant the class was easier to play, the damage ceiling went down. And a lot of times when you're doing these balance things, it's based off of the damage ceiling, based off of the top performing players, which is how classes like Igniter, Sorceress, and Surge got nerfed in the first place.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
as a result of the one round of feedback that we gave them, Smilegate reverted the changes
Mhm.
and just slapped a general damage buff on Soulfist, so they kept their damage ceiling and it actually went even a little bit higher on top of that. So even if it didn't fully solve the issue of like, okay, this might be a little clunky to play, it made the class better, and it's a class that needed to be better. So it shows that they were willing to make changes that based off of player feedback. And at the same time, since they only took one round of feedback, it didn't tarry on it for too long, because sometimes you end up in these situations where it's like, okay, well, we give our feedback, they make some changes, and then we give their feedback again off those
Yeah.
changes, and then
Yes.
then we keep giving feedback, but then that takes forever. So they took one round, they went with it, and if they made mistakes, they'll fix it in the future.
Yep.
I mean, that's what I was going to ask you guys. So I feel like at the end of the day, even if they're going back on some of the changes, I mean, if they weren't the best changes in the first place, isn't that what you want? Don't you want the opportunity, even if they have data? Let's say they actually have data, which a lot of you guys have suggested before that maybe their data isn't that accurate, right? Benji, you've talked about it with Shock Scrapper as an example, maybe that not being as accurate. Right. Striker, I remember you talking about that before as well. Maybe not the most up-to-date data. Where are they getting their data from, right? But at the end of the day, that's why feedback is important, right? At least it gives us the opportunity to say, hey, like that's too far, that doesn't feel right.
Correct.
You need the opportunity to provide feedback, right? That's the point of the PTR. What's the point of the PTR if you're not going to give us the opportunity to give feedback, right?
Mm-hmm.
With that, though, would you say, now we're going to talk about the biggest winners, biggest losers again, and how it's kind of changed, what players could expect, when it comes to the West, these changes. Would you say, starting with you, Saint, would you say, you said it was handled well. Did these class quoted as revamps, redesigns, changes, did it live up to what you thought? Because Steele's had a point that this was the 7 months that you guys are working on this. Did it live up to what you were expecting? Is this what you expected?
I think it's kind of tough because for the first time in a long time, this is as close to parity that we're getting to, where the classes, their levels of power are as close as they ever have been. Where nothing is too overpowered and nothing's too weak. And I think that's just gonna raise a lot of questions, because I think we're used to having some form of meta. We're used to having something that's better than the other thing. So now it raises new arguments of, should this be as good as it is when this other thing is much more effort to output similar damage. I know that these balance patches, they're supposed to set the foundation for the future, for things like Third Awakenings, for things like ultimate skills and level 70 cap and fourth row tripods. All things that they've mentioned before in previous Loa ons, that they have to do this balance first. And moreover, on top of that, there's other issues. And I think Benji actually touched on this very briefly, but certain classes are better in certain fights than others. When new encounters come out, the Hitmaster classes are the best classes, because the content is new, and not really having to rely on positionals makes you perform, much better on average when you don't know how the fight works. But then later on, things like back attack, frontal attack classes do significantly better. than they did at the start. And then on top of that, we also have classes that are balanced around specific sets, which we don't know if these sets will stick around forever. There are classes that are
Yeah.
straight up balanced around things like Dominion Fang,
That's true.
Entropy, and Nightmare. And it's like, well, when we move on later, will things still be balanced despite all of this? So
That's
while the balance pass looks good now, I don't know what it will look like in the future if these different parameters change.
I mean, that's a really good point, right? Like a lot of classes, maybe they're your stats. Oh, we'll take a crit set, and then I'll take these stats, right? And then if we don't have that crit set anymore, then how is the class going to play overall? And maybe the balance patch is with that in mind. A lot of people don't know this that are listening right now, that the reason why we're getting this balance patch, it was announced at Low-On, is because they're looking to build upon classes with an extra row of tripods, which we don't have right now, right? Imagine how all of your abilities would actually change with an extra row of tripods, an extra awakening. We don't really understand how that's going to work exactly yet, but they wanted to rebalance classes before they add on to that. But I want to ask you now, Zeals, did it live up to what you expected them to do? Smilegate. Did these class changes live up to what you thought they were going to be?
Honestly, I personally don't really care about the balance changes because I just don't care. But from what I'm seeing from the community, like in Korea, they're just like, why did we stay silent? Is like the number one thing. Like the scrappers right now, war dancers, gunslingers, they're all like, man, we should just lay down during the PTR, spam lay down, complain, because complainers won, and those that thought everything's fine, now they're screwed. It's like pretty much like the general
Yeah.
right. So like we did it wrong is what they're saying. We should just complain.
Yeah, man.
And I don't know, man. That's not a good impression, I guess. Right? I don't know.
You're laughing, ATK. What is it?
Because we should have learned it from the West, man.
Yeah, dude. Squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? That's what they say.
They're all laying down now, right? Like gunslingers, war dancers, like, and like some of the streamers I expose like some of the broken builds, like the scrapper counterattack spam, the one hit punch, like all that stuff got reverted, rolled back, and they're all saying, man, they're apologizing. They're all like, man, we shouldn't have tested anything. We should just stay silent. That because like there are classes that got rolled back and they're like now celebrating, popping champagne bottles. They're like, man, we got away with it, guys. We got away until the next balance patch. We're broke until then. Like, man, like I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are they balancing off numbers or is it off in then?
Well, I mean, I think they do take feedback to an account because they try to, like, I think the director's the type that he, like, just takes as many feedbacks as he can, because he said he watches streams, he watches forums, everything, right? But the thing is, you got the better way to do that is he needs to weight it properly, as in, like, you need to weight the feedbacks, take all of it, but you need to weigh it based on like how informative it is. For example, if someone I mean, a feedback from a 1590 gunslinger is better than a feedback from 1445, right? But like, if you take it to an equal amount, like the results gonna be different. That's more of like again, like the reason why I'm saying this is because that's like the majority of the argument. People are saying these things, but they don't show what they have. Like they don't show their experience in the game.
Yeah.
So, and everyone's like, yeah, show your character, and then they just go no, right? So they're just like a bunch of trolls plus, for example, let's say Gunslinger, the forum, right? Some of the guys that comes over, they don't even play Gunslinger. They pretend to play Gunslinger. They just come here just to throw gasoline around because everyone's like all mad. It's a troll thing. Everyone does it.
Yeah.
They do it all the time, and that makes it confusing. So like it's the director's job to filter stuff out, and someone like me is a point where I think they're all fine. It's as long as I have no problem beating the latest content, I think it's fine. Because like MVP, like if people are fighting for MVP, that's also fine as well. But like as long as my character can beat the latest content without any issues, I think it's fine. Because I think all classes have no problem. I thought Benji had a harder time when we did the Abyss raid because like I was like, how do you land your skills to like, against that guy, right? I think that's a bigger problem than gunslingers doing less damage. Does
Well,
that make sense? Because
yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I was actually going to say that I asked the question, you know, knowing my own answer, do I think they do a good job at balancing? And what I would say is that the problem with the game in that, in my opinion, is that there's just so many sources of power, and whenever you have a game with this many sources of power, it's always going to be difficult to balance, right? Like it's never going to be easy. Like, you know, you look at Final Fantasy, for example, that game is very simplified in terms of its sources of power, so it's really easy. You don't even have talents, really. You know what I mean? So it's very easy. In Lost Ark, you have tripods, you have gems, you have set bonuses, then there's different stat builds on top of that, which is normal to a lot of games. There's so many sources of power in the game that it makes it really difficult to balance, right? And then you have engravings too. You know, it's so many things that it's never going to be easy. So I think the most important thing, this is just my opinion, whatever, just sharing it, in that I think playability and fun is the most important thing. It's a PvE game at the end of the day. Obviously, toned down things are doing way too much damage, but I think classes should feel good to play and should be fun, right? That should be the most important thing. And I think players, cards as well, right? There's just more. I mean, I'm going to forget, right? I think players should be focused on that, in my opinion.
And to go over, whenever a new content comes out, as you may know, this game is it's split into two big categories, right? We call it the Hitmaster classes, right? The one that doesn't need to do head and front, which it doesn't require the entropy set either. So you have the Hitmaster classes, and then you have a back and front classes. The Hitmaster classes always gets MVP in the beginning, and you know why too, right? Because they're not used to the patterns. Right? Like for example, Broshaza Hitmaster, they only take Hitmaster classes for the beginning because they were not meeting the DPS requirement because they can't dodge the patterns and do back and head front attacks as much as they can. Now it's backwards where they take more hidden front and back classes because they do significantly more because you do better, right? You can't balance those two because you have to put majority of the players' skills around, right? Like their mechanical skills.
Yo, to add on to that, I think like the theory crafters are thinking about, like, you know, when like Bresh has a Hard came out, people thought that boss moves around a lot. Now they're saying that was baby. Like the new dungeon, the last boss moves a lot, right? So like I just want to tell like NAU players that, like, you know, things start moving more and more, and there's a difference between seeing somebody do a training dummy DPS and then an actual burst cycle DPS. So let's say Saint has 8 spells, and how much DPS or how much damage you can squeeze out with those 8 ability in a cycle, right? Because in a cycle you can if you do enough damage, you can skip the short pattern and go to the set pattern. So that in Korea we call that Tiljik, right? So there are builds that are very good for, you know, set cycle damage, like in a one cycle rotation damage burst versus stain, right? So there's so many things to think about, right? There's so many things to balance. Adding on to what Stu was.
Yeah, it also seems like the game is being more. I mean, it was with the changes. It seemed like a lot was being towards more consistent damage. Seemed like a lot of burst classes got tuned, right? And seems like more consistent damages wasn't actually as meta, right? Like all the really strong classes were more burst oriented, right? And then
because it scales higher.
Well, that's how like Zeals is saying too, is like I think as damage goes up and the fights become more and more phased, you want to get as much damage as you can before the boss phases again. You know what I mean? And that's I think it seems that way, at least. I could be wrong, but
yeah, farm content's different. Progression versus farm, people have different builds. Or they, you know, of course, people who want to invest into different builds, they do.
Yeah, and we've been on farm content for a little bit now outside of this dungeon, right? So it seems like that's one of the things I'm noticing about Lost Ark too, is like nothing can happen in the meta at all, but then the meta is changing because people are getting more and more stats, or they're getting stronger and stronger and stronger. They're pushing their gear further and further and further, and certain classes are just scaling better over time, right? Like nothing can actually happen, and then all of a sudden this class is really good. At least it feels that way, right?
Yeah.
All right. Class changes stuff is really good. I think it's seems like a topic that's really important in the game because people invest a lot of time in it, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. But because a lot of these changes may be happening, we may be getting some of these class changes at least with this May update potentially. We'll talk about that as well. Maybe in regards to Destroyer at least. What are now? We'll start with you, ATK. What? It's different than last week, right? What are the biggest winners of this patch, this balance patch? Now that we kind of have some of it in motion, what are the biggest winners in your mind?
Classes.
Yeah, classes.
So so if I say this, I might get attacked by Inven.
Yeah.
But biggest winners, obviously, I think it's Scrapper. Scrapper is so good now. And I think Shadowhunter is really good too. It's just flat 6% damage increase, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you say it into an account of Sophis could have got like booty blasted, right? And now she's fine now, so I think that's a winner too. Considering like you're expected to be wrecked, but you're not wrecked, so it's a win. Right?
Yeah, that was your biggest
So I
loser
think
last.
Sophis is fine too.
That was your biggest loser last week or last time. I remember.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and I think everyone else and Sharpshooter too. Sharpshooter is really good. It's a big winner. Yeah, Sharpshooter is a big winner.
Okay.
Because like his damage style just changed. It's just got a lot less riskier, so you can spend less money to do better with him.
Mm-hmm.
But I checked my Sharpshooter friends to double check, and if all of them are happy, right? I mean, it's a winner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Benji.
Gunslinger, I don't know. I thought it was a win, but people are saying otherwise. They're fighting way too much, so I can't tell.
Okay, Benji, what do you think?
Aside from the classes that ATK mentioned, and aside from the classes I mentioned last time, I think one of the biggest winners that I forgot to mention was Deadeye Pistolier build. It was the biggest winner. Also,
why is that?
Destroy?
Why is that?
Huh? Pistolier?
Yeah, what happened with Pistolier build? Yeah, what happened?
They got a good buff. They got a good buff. And enhanced weapon, Deadeyes. I think they're supposed to outperform Pistolier by far. By far. But Pistolier was able to kind of catch up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I think Lancemaster is also a big winner, aside from the ones that ATK mentioned.
Yeah,
because they got really good buffs. Like it wasn't like that. They don't have to change. They don't have to change any tripods. It was just a buff on one on the major skills they use. Also, Reaper. Reaper is a big winner with a new counter. Striker for not being nerfed. Scrapper for not being nerfed.
Okay. Saint, what about you? Give me the same thing. Doesn't matter.
I think the two main ones that really come to mind are Destroyer still, based off of last week. Not because their damage ceiling went up, because it didn't go up at all, but just for the fact that it's just way more consistent now in fights. The class, while it didn't do the most damage, did the most stagger damage in the game, and that's still something that's very, I guess admirable, and it weighs a lot in MVP. Like Destroyers getting MVP is not an uncommon occurrence at all anymore. And then of course Sharpshooter was mentioned. I think Sharpshooter got away with a lot because Sharpshooter's playstyle was legitimately going to change because one of their core methods of building up gauge was deemed a bug. And then they went back on it, and basically what they called a bug, they ended up calling a feature now, which was the Blade Storm on Thin Air thing. So the fact that they got that reverted is such a big thing for them. So I think Sharpshooters are in fantastic shape right now. Still as unpopular as ever, but at least the class itself is quite good now. And I'm honestly shocked that Igniter Sorceress, we actually got damage back from it. I was so confident that we were gonna lose 10%, but we got away with like a 6-7% nerf, and I was like, okay, I didn't expect that, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yep. That's from the Western meta, man. Complain.
What about you, Zeals? Any class that you feel like was a big winner for you?
When I started streaming, I mean, when the NAU came out, man, like the most insecure players in my chat, they played a class that started with S, right? Like, when does Striker get better? Am I playing the wrong class? Shadowhunter shit. Like, it's always those S play motherfuckers coming in my chat crying. So fucking
Oh, man.
insecure. Right? Now they
You
all
guys
like
have
they're
it
all
too?
winners. They're all winners. S owners, source included. Fine. I told you.
How do you feel about how do you feel about War Dancer?
What I say it's above, but I don't know. Just I guess like removing the crit, like just we gotta like I don't know, man. Ward answers, I don't really recommend ward answers to people unless they like fine tuning their class. Like you can't copy pasta. Like it
Mm.
depends on so many variables, like your rock, playstyle,
Yeah.
like are you good at snapshotting, conviction, judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. It's
Dude,
like there's like 10 different builds right now, man.
Yep. Dude, you know, a friend told me like a really fun stuff about War Dancer is you guys know that the building those Gundam things, right? If other classes you build it as the manual says, War Dancer is like you have to build it yourself from different Gundam parts.
Hmm.
That's like War Dancer is. That's why it's such a hard problem.
Yeah.
Because you have to like know the class and then build it accordingly. If it doesn't work, like it's kind of like your fault. Such a
Yeah,
hard
you ever go
class,
to like
dude.
the War Dancer invent? There's not like play this. It's just
Yeah,
like
there's no play
there's
this.
16 builds. Pick
Yeah,
one.
it's always a question too. It's like,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
this
yeah.
okay?
Yeah, everyone's like, check the different builds. Pick one.
I feel like for me, I saw destroyers and I watched Nodally play his destroyer and I watched Benji play his destroyer and I really want to make a destroyer so bad. I'm scared because I like the glow, dude, the glow with the rocks, man.
You
But
should.
someone in my chat, we're talking about biggest losers. Benji, someone said that you still don't recommend destroyer in my chat today. Is that true? You still don't recommend it?
Well, it's not that I don't recommend it. It's a better class now than before,
Huh?
but it's still not for everyone.
Okay. It's not for everyone.
Like if you it's a toxic relationship between you and your character. Like like you gotta be able to deal with the stress,
Yep.
and you gotta enjoy the stress, and
Yeah.
then you have to I guess you have to be happy with the reward you get after the stress. Like
Yep.
Who's your biggest loser of the patch, Benji?
biggest loser of the patch? Oh, biggest loser, huh? Biggest loser? I still think Surge Deathblade,
Damn.
because of the core. Not because of the surge damage, but like the orb thingy is kind of
Yeah.
rocky. It's a rocky road to get the orbs.
I like Rocky Road ice cream. I don't know why I had to say that. I don't know when you said that. I just said okay. Anyway, sorry. I don't know. My ADD went crazy right there.
Also, the biggest, I think, I don't want to say this. I don't want to say it's a loser, but like I've never seen Wardancer take this long to build their. It's an analogy. Damn, because they're called Beaver Masters, right? Like Seal said last time, they're called Beaver Masters, and then their builds are their dams. But I've never seen Wardancers take this long to build their dam. So I think Wardancer is kind of, yeah.
I think the reason why they're not building is they're hoping that all this bitching will fix anything. It's not. Like Smilegate lately, they just be silent. After the balance patch is out, they don't like do after service anymore. They don't do the warranty stuff. They just
warranty.
Yeah, the warranty.
they just go away.
I mean,
just go
they
away
spend the
Warranty.
gold.
Here it
That's-
is.
Yeah, you gotta have the
Fuck you.
warranty, dude.
Warranty. I've never heard that before. That's
Because-
funny.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
they're
I mean,
not. They don't do it, man.
like I can completely relate. Like I can understand what Zeal's saying because like if you think about it, you know, you have a bunch of players come in to like let's say Zeal's chat or like my chat or like whatever. They're asking about classes, right?
Hmm.
If Zeus wants to change his build, it takes so much money and so much effort,
Yeah.
right?
for instance,
And
yeah.
and if you are insecure about the change, like why swap for like a two, three, like as I explained in the beginning, right? But everyone else who hasn't like an eye level under like 1445 ish, you can just switch on the fly.
Yeah.
Because even a level 3 tripod's fine with like Valtan or Vehicles or something. But if you're challenging the 1580 hard dungeon, like just to change from that minor point, you won't be able to do any damage. So you have to do the peak performance, peak build of a certain thing. And then if one or two skills change, you spend that much more gold. So they try to just stick with it. And since no one needs to mandatory like switch as a mandatory thing, I'm just saying it's fine. Because if a class needs to change in order for them to perform properly to beat the game, that's a problem. But that problem hasn't been in any classes yet.
What do you think, Saint? Who's your biggest loser of the patch? Is it Word Answer?
I mean, it hasn't changed. It's still Surge Deathblade.
Okay.
And I mean, this is evidenced on Loa. At least, I mean, but even before, Remaining Energy was
more
the
popular,
it was more popular than Surge. And they nerfed Surge because its damage ceiling was too high, and so for the few people that were able to take advantage of that, their damage was just on another level. Now you would be putting in significantly more work to barely do any more damage, and on average you'd probably do less damage than a Remaining Energy Deathblade, which is problematic because it means, well, technically Deathblade is still viable to play. Sure, the damage is there, but playing Surge Deathblade is a lot like playing Deadeye now, in the sense that you have to actually like playing that
Yeah.
playstyle to choose picking it, because you're putting in way more effort to do the same thing as everyone else.
So let me stop you there and just ask you a question. Do you think that's missing the mark, right? Because I would say that in some situations, like if it's more difficult to play, there should be a higher ceiling, right? Like just there should be, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think if you're putting in a lot more work than somebody else, at least you should have a higher ceiling, right? Like maybe Deadeye should have a lot of damage if it's more difficult to play, and then same with Surge. So do you think
within reason, like if you're doing like 20% more damage than everyone else at the highest ceiling at the highest level, that's too much.
Yeah, sure.
But then, you know, everyone's definition is different. If I'm saying, oh yeah, if you play perfectly and put in 3 times the effort, you can do 5% more damage than a Remaining Energy Deathblade, people would look at me with skepticism. They'd be like, why would I do that? That sounds awful.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to vary a lot from people versus design decision from Smilegate and what they're aiming for when it comes to parity among the classes in the game.
What about you, Zeals? What's your biggest smoger of the patch?
So like you were saying, like high risk, high reward,
Mhm.
and the director spoke about that as well. But from what the community feels like in Korea is like, the way the thing they're going is high risk, but same returns as a low risk, right? Almost like, so why play high risk? You know,
Yeah.
They're
like,
trying to close the gap.
unless you want difficulty, unless you just want to stand out, you think certain specs are just too boring, like too easy, then okay. But yeah, exactly. But like for example, first intention ward answers versus the highest. You got to play perfect, land every back attack, land every wind combustion, esoteric ward answer. There's a 36% damage discrepancy, but no one's gonna play that spec, right? Like landing all the back attacks. Like you've seen the new boss in Kayan Gear. That shit moves around all the time. You're not
Dude.
landing shit,
man.
man. That's why
Dude, I
I feel
felt-
like, ooh, like you know, people talk shit about first intent, but in progression, like that shit is it is cheating. It's literally cheating the game. Like for those that play first intention, it feels like you're cheating, man. It's so broken.
Yep.
But in farm, yeah, I mean it doesn't win, but on progression. Like that's the thing, right? So I feel like the biggest losers are the ones that have like the highest risks, the highest
I mean,
the highest
Mm.
ceiling in terms of difficulty.
Mm.
But if you enjoy that, you just play that, right?
Mhm.
Just stay in your
also
lane and play
Zealsambitions.
that. Yeah.
Also, Zealsambitions and Benji, when we were doing the Kaingyo 3, right? That it's like I just want to say again, like it's mad respect because you even keep getting hit by that hammer attack too, man, because you're melee, right? It's like it's adding on top of like it's so much difficulty.
Dude,
I,
melee
I
is-
have I have much of an
Imagine
easier
latency
time.
though.
But again, like the melee classes, it's just so much harder. Right?
melee
And then
sucks
let's say
in
you're
Lost
10.
Ark, bro. I'm
It's
actually
so weird. They said that like in the future they would be more mindful about boss design for people who play melee and positionals. L'Oreal does not feel mindful at all
Mhm.
to that type of class. It's terrible.
It's like that in every MMO, I feel like, but melee always just has the shittiest experience. You're always just in every single mechanic. I don't know. I feel like melee in this game is
And I'm pretty sure most people saw it, like when Saint does Kaingyo or like Zeos and Benji doing Kaingyo, right? If it's in a different difficulty level.
someone
Yeah,
says
that was just me. And then I watched like
It's mean.
I saw a technique berserker do it. He was just running around the same thing.
some people are saying F Final Fantasy has great melee mechanics, so I'm not sure how range feel in that game, but yeah, I feel like melee is always just rough. Okay, so that was a good chunk of class changes, and that I wanted to talk about that and kind of rehash from last time. And it seems like some of the classes that got nerfed got a little bit reverted. The bigger takeaway for me was just I want to discuss, like, I think to summarize it, it seems like, at least for me, that the game has a very difficult job in terms of balancing, and every change that you do is so impactful, whether it affects people's engravings, which changes maybe your stones, and then you have tripods. And I was just thinking about that too. Like, if you nerf a tripod, it's like there's so much to change every time. And that's stressful, right? And I feel like maybe that's a potential problem with the game that the game's gonna have to work through.
I actually forgot to mention, but
Sure, go for it.
in my biggest winners, I forgot to mention Berserker.
Oh yeah.
Berserker-
Oh, because the
Berserker
Androphin,
got away
right?
like
The Androphin,
bandits,
right?
dude.
Yeah.
Not only did they get some damage back on Mayhem, two, their value in a party is so much higher now because of Red Dust, and that's a 100% uptime synergy now. And three, the fact that they could use Androphins now as Mayhem is absolutely crazy to me. I can't believe that they can use that. I think their damage really hasn't changed much, but now they have a 100% uptime 6% buff that they give to their party that they didn't give before at all. It's crazy, dude. That class, I think, is I actually don't mind. Before, if I saw a Berserker in a party, I didn't want to play with them. Now I'm down to actually play with a Berserker in my party because their buff is nice.
Wow.
Yo, what about artists?
Dude, okay, playing with you, I feel invincible with artists in my group, bro. I swear to God, dude, it feels so good.
Yeah.
I actually, I don't
Good.
have to heal at all ever. The healing is insane. Am I trolling?
I think Artist is a healer. Like yeah, I think she's like, I think all supports have a very uniqueness now. As an artist can be like just focus on like heals, because she just does it she just heals so much. I'm scared if it's actually a bug, because I tried it myself too. She heals way too much.
People were saying that it was a bug.
Oh shit.
But she does pump out heals. I mean, what is it, like a 14% heal for one bubble every time? It's so much.
Yeah. So I just go one bubble heal, one bubble heal, one bubble heal. Although Reapers still die, but it's I can save everyone else. That's what happened yesterday too.
Okay, so I have I have another topic here that I wanted to discuss, and this one is pretty, I would say, like, important to the Western region, right? Everyone in my chat is sitting here waiting for Valtan. And if you guys don't know, Valtan wasn't directly, I guess, announced, but it was hinted at being released on the 19th, right? Was it the 19th? It was hinted at being announced, not confirmed, but they came out and they said, hey, we're looking at the 19th. It was kind of a lot of people may have missed this, but we're looking at the 19th for the May update, which would be Destroyer, I'm assuming, and, Valtan. They didn't say directly that it'd be Valtan or Destroyer. They said the May update. Now, I don't think they want to confirm anything because they don't want to get people upset, but they're trying to be more communicative and let everyone know that they're looking at that date and that people are progressing at a good rate. That's what they said following the event. Okay? So let's assume that Valtan is coming out on the 19th, which is less than 3 weeks away. 14:15, 14:45 is what most people are assuming, normal and hard mode. But I wanted to talk about the difficulty of Valtan, and more importantly, I want to share really quickly, my experience with Valtan, right? So I liked Argos when I got into the game. And when I got into the game, Valtan was there and Beatrice was there. Those are the two raids that were in the game at the time I started playing. And Beatrice or Argos was fun. I actually really liked the raid because it reminded me of legendary Pokemon. Then I got to Valtan and I'm like, whoa, this raid's way more difficult. Okay? But it was so much fun, right? I did it blind, but it was so much fun. Okay? And now I'm seeing a lot of, it's Twitch chat, and I'm really curious. So if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're in Twitch chat right now, comment down below or share your item level in the chat. I'm curious what item level you guys are currently at. Don't feel ashamed if you're lower or whatever. I would like to know what everyone's item level is at, and I want to see how Twitch chat differs from YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, if you want to comment down below your item level, I'm curious. Okay? My chat item level is pretty good. They're progressing well, but they also got full tripods, level 3s. They've got really good gems. Some people are hitting 20 weapons. I know not everybody is, but these events, everyone's getting kind of juiced up. And we're going to talk about this. I think Zeal's talked about everyone getting juiced up. It's a topic we have, but everyone's getting really strong. Okay, like way stronger. 4x3 or 3x4, 4x3. Everyone's getting really strong. And I'm like, okay, what is the experience going to be? I desperately want the Western region to have the Valtan experience that I had because that's what hooked me into the game. But we're getting so much free stuff, and we're it's taking not a long time. For the average casual player, it's probably fine, right? But I'll start with you, Saint. Do you think Valtan, for the average player, is going to be a difficult, fun, challenging encounter, or do you think people are going to roll over it? Just Valtan normal, and then we'll touch on hard mode. But Valtan normal, do you think people are going to roll over it, or are they going to have that similar experience that maybe I had?
Well, there's always going to be a learning experience with Valtan because of the gimmick of the fight and how, even if you're geared to the teeth, you can just die instantly.
I still die.
Yeah. I mean, they're never going to have, the same experience because, yes, the fight has been nerfed a bunch of times. You receive the nerfed version.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think almost every nerf that they've ever done for the raids, for the Legion raids, have been fair nerfs. I've gone through all the raids, every single one of them on launch week, no guide, progression, all that kind of stuff. And I would argue that every nerf that they've ever done was fair. They always nerfed the stuff that I found to be very frustrating and lame and it didn't need to be there in the first place. So I was never really angry at any of the nerfs that they ever did for any of these raids. I think if you go through it blind still, it provides a reasonable challenge. If you read guides and whatnot, it kind of ruins the gimmicks a little bit. Or if you know the strategy, it kind of, makes it a lot easier, of course, rather than figuring stuff out yourself. You know that revelation, right? When you're doing a prog raid and then 2 hours later you discover something and you're like, oh, this makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that if you just read a guide, and of course guides will be out. They always will be. But it serves as a reasonable step up in difficulty because I think the Legion raid designs are extremely meticulous. As in, everything that happens in these raids is pretty fair. If you get hit by something, it was your fault. And so everything is with purpose. Whereas, when you went through Argos, for example, there's a lot of bullshit. 90 degree turn, hind kick.
Yeah.
To this day, I don't know. I still don't know what to tell for that is. Which direction it turns in hind kicks. So there's like a lot of like bullshit damage in the Guardian raids and even Argos. But you know, the Legion raids, I think they're very well designed in that regard. Where if you get hit by something, you're like, okay, I could have just done this differently, and it would have been fair. I think it's good. Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt you. I would say that at least in Valtan, I'll ask you this, Zeals. Am I off in saying that Valtan isn't as, even though Zeals says it's more mechanic or gimmick heavy, right? I don't really think that even if you know the mechanics on Valtan, that's what makes it easier. Because I feel like that boss in particular, not at least phase 2, right? Phase 1, I feel like phase 2 is just about getting that muscle memory down of the fight. Because even if you know the mechanics, there are not that many of them. It's just about you not getting knocked off and remembering what every boss animation is. Am I off in that, or do you think players aren't going to struggle with the boss patterns, his attack patterns? I feel like that's the difficulty in the fight. It's just being patient, not getting knocked off.
Well,
Or do you think it's more mechanic heavy?
I think it's not too heavy. Like you could adjust to it. Like people will know about the axe glow and stuff like that. But the Valtan axe, but they'll get it, right? And especially if they watch guys repeatedly, I think it'll make it much easier. But like Valtan's not supposed to be like super hard though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be good entry. Legion Commander raid, but for me, man, like I told you, like for those that like over gear their eye level, they're gonna get hurt less by the wolf, but they could still fall off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I just think that a lot of like, at least maybe on Twitch, people write the boss off as being, well, this is it, this was it, like this is what we've been waiting for. But there's more stuff coming. I just want to remind people that like there's gonna be Valtan's just entry.
That's a good topic.
Yeah.
ATK, turn your camera back on even if it's spinning, because you're just like you keep switching the shit. And then I got the goddamn picture on fucking, I don't know, it was Ohbenji. I got ATK's picture on Ohbenji's face. I'm aware, chat. It's when he turns. It's okay. It's okay.
I think I got it to work though.
Oh, you want to take a second to fix it? You want to try it? I'll let you do it. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Okay. I've been holding in this thing.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna write this down. Bathroom at 1:12. I'm gonna use the restroom really quickly. Welcome back. We're back. We're talking about Valtan and Zeals. If I remember correctly, you ended the point with that there's more stuff coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I feel bad saying that though, dude. I feel like,
and that's
we're always saying that.
And
like, it gets better.
And that's my point. Is it we literally had this conversation before Saint. So you brought up the point, Zeals, that there's more stuff coming. And I remember when I was playing Vanilla WoW, Classic WoW, it's like, oh, just wait till the next fucking raid tier. Like, wait, because it's a game that's been out elsewhere at a different time, and then you're constantly telling the player base, it gets better. Wait for this. Wait for this. And, you brought up this meme, Saint, or Zeals, wait arc. It's wait arc.
Wait arc.
Do you... Saint, what do you think about that? Right, you said you feel bad if Valtan isn't going to be potentially that challenging, which I think it personally will be for the average player, because the average player isn't in Twitch, and I think even in Twitch chat, if they're pugging, Valtan pugs are going to suck at the start, especially hard mode. If it is wait arc, and we're saying wait till it gets more difficult, when is the first difficult encounter that they can expect that you would say it's difficult?
It doesn't have to be difficult. I think the game just gets immediately better with Valtan. I think it'll be fine after Valtan because, like, Benji would know this because Benji was also playing at the time when I was playing during this time. We didn't actually like the game when Argos was our end game in Korea. There was still a lot of skepticism because we had just came fresh out of season 1 and we were still unsure if season 2 was going to be any better. And there was also tons of controversies related to season 2 at the time as well. So when Argos came out a month after our season 2 began, and Punic released with the onset of season 2 as well, we had Argos as our endgame for 4 months straight. 4 months with nothing but Argos, and people didn't exactly like Argos. So when Valtan came out, I mean, that was a big tonal shift of the game. I think the game gets way better with Valtan, and not only does Valtan come out, but presumably with Valtan comes out additional chaos dungeons, so you can start working on things like your tripods and getting those better with the relic items. You get Descaluda, which everyone loves because you finally don't have to do Velganus anymore. There's
So nice.
there's much to work on, and there's big power spikes as well, and players love getting stronger. The
Mhm.
1445 power spike is the biggest power spike in the game because of the existence of the relic sets. And if the cadence of content mimics anything like remotely similar to what it was in Japan, Vicus would come 1 month afterwards. In Japan, there was only 1 month gap between Vicus and Valtan. So I'm wondering if they'll do something similar here.
They better, dude.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
think
this
so.
is. I don't want to stop us here because this is a topic I have a big topic on. So let's save that. We could hop into it now, but I do want to just touch on this last thing here. On Valtan, at least, then, do you guys think they're waiting too long for players to naturally overgear with all of the things that we're giving players going into Valtan? And what I mean is that we do have guaranteed class engravings, man. And that is a big deal, right? It makes your setup infinitely fucking easier and allows you to have more damage, right? I think a lot of players don't realize that. Like, having guaranteed class engravings from Argos going into Valtan was something that I didn't have. And that allows you to do crazier setups, which is going to provide a lot more damage. And by giving players all of this time and stuff, I don't know, I'm just asking. Do you guys think that they're waiting too long to release normal Valtan at least?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
You don't think players are going to have too much damage going into Valtan?
Well, so I'm an example of who started at Valtan. As in, like, when Valtan and Vicus was there, and Cuckoo was there too.
Okay.
But when there was like a Hyper Express, that kind of stuff, which is last year. When I did Valtan for the first time, it was just 3/3s, right? 3/3s, but it was relics though. Oh, sorry, 4/3s with the relics because you can just buy it off of the auction house and stuff, right?
It's around the same time as me, yeah.
Yeah, 1445 did hard at the item level. Had a lot of problems, but even if most of my streamers who are new, streamer friends, they were 1460, they were 1470, right? Some of them are at 1475. They're a mixture of people because everyone has different goals. As in, like, hey, I'm playing with a bunch of friends, 8 friends, let's say. I don't want to be the dead weight, right? So they just hone more. Even if you're strong, Valtan is designed for if you have a certain, like, it has a certain mechanic where you just die no matter how geared you are, right? Which is the falling down stuff, right? So the difficulty is good enough for anybody, to be honest, if you do it for the first time. So if Valtan doesn't really work for you, I don't know about you guys, but if the game might not be for you if Valtan doesn't work for you. That's what I think, because Valtan is the raid that got me into Lost Ark when I beat it for the first time. And what's that?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, and that's why the director really is proud of Valtan, is because the design itself is just perfect for Lost Ark to, play, like, introduce the game. This is Lost Ark, and I think Valtan is a great start. And if Valtan itself, that's why some of the streamer friends I started with, they didn't like it, so they don't play it because it's just not the game for them, right? But Valtan is definitely the content that everyone should at least try, and that's what at least the director said as well. And in the future, if you guys are too far behind, they will give Hyper Expresses too in the NA. Like, let's say like 3 months later, 6 months later, play then, give it a chance afterwards too, right? Because he will always do it, give more chances.
Okay.
So just Valtan is, if you say like wait, because I wanted to answer that question, right? Just wait until Valtan. That's it. That's it for me.
What do you think, Zeals? You want to say something?
Even to this day, Valtan is #1 voted most liked raid. It is.
Yep.
Mhm.
Especially to the new players coming to Lost
Yep.
Ark in Korea as well. It's the number one most enjoyable raid for those that have tasted Brescia as well as new players. It is the number one raid.
Yep.
As well as the top Korean streamers. When other top Korean streamers that play other games like MapleStory, when MapleStory is not doing well, they come over to Lost Ark to do Jingmok, which is to try out Lost Ark.
Yeah, try
Say
it out.
at least do Valtan before you ride off the game, right? So Valtan is a huge selling point, and I think
Yep.
them giving us this time, this entire month to get ready is
Yep.
kind of needed, I think.
Yep.
But then what's come after?
I was gonna say, I think though it's crazy that Valtan is the number one most voted raid, because in my opinion, it's not the visually the best looking raid. Thematically,
It's not, yeah.
it's not as, so when we say this, chat and people listening, I would say that it's not like you're not gonna go, this is it looks like an older raid. When you see the newer raids, the newer dungeons, they look so insane compared to Valtan. But Valtan just mechanically so fun that even today, it's the most fun raid, because I still get, if it's just me, the last one alive, it's like you still get excited. I get like excited doing the raid. You know what I mean? And you don't get
like
that
today
as much.
we did it together. for
So
those that
much
missed
fun.
it. Yeah.
It's just perfect difficulty, I think. There's difficulty that gives you stress, and there's difficulty that makes you feel rewarding. And Valtan is one of those raids that just gives you a lot of rewards. It's like if you play well, and then let's say you play with like Yildiz, or if you pug, and then you guys are progressing it together, you feel progression as you keep playing, right? Some of them you hit like a wall sometimes for different raids, and you get stressed out because you hit a wall. That's like Cuckoo, right? Cuckoo, you hit a wall because it's not fair sometimes. But Valtan is something, as long as you just keep playing, like keep playing, keep trying, like you progress, right? And then it feels good when you beat it for the first time too. I still remember like the end phases of Valtan when I did it for the first time. Your heart's like beating, man, because like you don't want to get hit and fall down. Such a good,
you know, back then when it first came out, you guys know how the stack started at 6 in hard mode, right? Back then it started at 8, which is the same as what it was in hell mode today. And so like every fight in that ghost phase was basically guaranteed to go to enrage, so you had to do like 30 to a minute, where the boss had like 2 times attack speed and 4 times damage. And it was just so tense. I think it's the best mechanically designed raid in the game for sure.
That's why I think hell mode's good too, as in because that I think that is too much for like even to casual players.
Yeah, that's why I got nerfed.
That's why that's got nerfed, and then you have the hell mode to cover for someone who likes the hardcore modes and stuff.
Actually, is regarding like the general player, I think something that the 5 of us might not take into consideration anymore is that like a 1490 in the West, like someone who's like full whaled out, is not the same thing as a 1490 in Korea, where people have like maxed out card set. 1490, you already have your relic set by then. It's considerably weaker in the West. So even if someone's like whaled out in the West,
it might not be enough.
It's still going to be reasonably
weapon,
hard.
too.
Yes,
It's
including weapon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a relic. So yeah. They
But
think
I
they're
was
big,
curious.
man.
the thing is, I just don't know if I'm sorry to cut you off. I didn't mean to. I just don't know if I'm inhaling copium. Like, I don't want to be that old fucking grandpa. Like, oh, like you wait till Valtan gets a hold of you guys. Like, I don't want to be that cringe lord. I just, you know what I mean? So I'm asking you guys, like, you know what I mean? Like, is Valtan gonna be like hard for? I don't remember. I don't know if it's gonna be hard for them or not. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's fun. I think more importantly, regardless if it's hard or not, I think people will enjoy it. They will look at it and they'll be like, okay, Lost Ark is not just a Monster Hunter clone; it can do raids, and I think that's the important thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Bring the destruction grenade. Don't be cheap, man.
El Cheapos,
Don't be
bro.
cheap, man. I'm watching the VAR
Grenades,
days,
man.
man. I'll
Holy
rewind my stream
Gotta
if
bring
someone
those
don't do it.
Gotta bring those grenades.
Yeah, I spent 8
I
hours.
bet people are gonna
It was
fight.
8 hours learning it, but I don't
People
know.
are gonna definitely fight.
I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like for people, because I really do feel like the average player today, with all the info out there, I feel like the memes aside, I feel like the West is learning pretty fast. You know,
They do, yeah.
They're learning really fast.
I'm surprised. Yeah. They know more than me sometimes.
You know, they're learning really fast, so I just don't know. I'm trying to get, yeah, that's just my thoughts. They're learning really fast, and I'm curious how they're gonna encounter this. I personally think that Biakis was the first raid where I was like, oh, this is a lot harder, because it was just the MC mechanic was like, that's when I was like, oh, I'm getting punished a lot, you know, for getting hit by stuff. So is Valtan. They're getting knocked off. I think the wolf fight is terrible though.
Yeah, wolf fight is pretty bad.
It's pain and misery.
And also adding on top of it, right? Like my friends, like I asked my friends to test out stuff. Like if you're like a lot of people are worried about, am I ready for Valtan? Am I ready for Valtan? Right? And you know, some of the videos, like my video just says you need at least a 3-3. If you're a 1445, right? You need a 3-3 and like level 5 gems or 4 gems, right? And then you have like decent tripods at level 2 or 3. And I said that's enough. But you can even go lower. You can beat it with 3-3s. You know,
yeah.
Like, I think people are worried too much. It's just that the main reason why DPS is lacking is not because of your gear. It's more like if your skills don't go on cooldown, if you don't land all your skills, you just don't do enough DPS. Like, since that is heavily reliant, it's because I just wanted to say this because people are worried
No, you're good.
about there being lower, like they think they're not ready, but they're actually more than ready. It's just that, you know, it's going to be more challenging for you the less gears you have, but it's not going to be impossible, right? And I don't want people to gatekeep people because like you're not 4-3 or something like that, because it seems like to be a problem in the NA.
I think
from
it is
what I hear,
because if like the collective, like let's say Twitch community is this certain spec and you're below that, even though some streamers said it's okay, like the community decides the minimal requirement.
exactly. Yeah,
The same thing in Korea as well. Like you need to have as at least this to pug Kuku now. You need to have at least this to get into this. So we're gonna have to
well, as
like
long as you play good, you're fine.
yeah. But then in pug setting, I think the reason why people are worried is, can I get in? Because there are 200,000 death blades, and I'm playing one of them, and like you know, can I out the other death blade? You know, like, and they're just worried about stuff like that. And what's the general curve of the NAU community? I think.
You know, the jokes I did was you can still beat Valtan hard with 2-3s.
Yeah,
and
true.
with less gems, and then I said, well, if you have 8 Saintones, you can beat it with the 2-3s.
Well, speaking of Saint, I have a topic here, and it's going to connect well because I moved some stuff around here. The release schedules, okay? And I know, Saint, you brought this up, and I got super excited when you brought this up, okay? And I also want to go to Zeals, but on your stream, Saint, you were talking about the Candace of other regions. And I kind of remember this on Russia as well, is that we had like Clown and then like soon after April. It was like pretty back to back. And you mentioned Japan having Biakis 1 month after Valtan, right? And then you had mentioned that you could see April in 6 months. You could see April in 6 months.
Who's Candace?
Who's Candace?
Huh?
Who's that?
Anyway.
Who's Candace? Who are you hiding?
What
Your girlfriend?
well, I mean, that's why the cat's saying.
You mean Cadence, man?
Cadence.
What did I
Oh.
say?
Cadence.
What did I say?
It's a Candace.
Oh, what? Okay, whatever. I mean, I got confused. I was like, wait, who's Candid? All right, I made a mistake. I don't know what I said. I was so confused, and then I'm thinking about like, it's like, is this a D's nuts joke? I don't know what's going on. I didn't know it was a D's nuts joke. Anyway, the raid schedule 6 months April. Do you think that's realistic, Saint, or are you just throwing that out there?
So it's a bit of a ballpark, and it's just based off of what Japan's looking like. So, everything expedited up until this point was based off of the premise that Smilegate wanted to get the West 2 Legion raids as soon as possible. They've explicitly said this many times, even during the Crown Channel interview with Gold River. It's been mentioned that the entire goal is get the West to Legion raids ASAP, because that is the best content that has the best retention rate in all of Lost Ark. And if you can get players to that point very quickly, then the odds are they'll stick with the game longer, and maybe they'll become more of a devoted player to the game, and they'll actually stick with it. From that point onwards, it doesn't have to be particularly faster than as a newer region. You could have 1 month between raids. You could you could and that's exactly what happened in Japan. They had Valtan, then literally 1 month later they had Vicus. And then after that, a month later you could do Cook Satan, and then maybe like 1 or 2 months after that you can do Belshazzar, and then maybe like 3 months after that, as Russia did, you can do Belshazzar hard mode. So looking at that and keeping that in mind, yes, I could see people in the West doing the same fight that you've seen in like that you've seen streamers do a lot today in just half a year's time from now.
Yeah, because that sounds really exciting, right? I mean, I remember you made a. What do you think about it, Benji? Do you think just if you had to guess, do you think we're gonna get based on what's been happening with them kind of slowing things down, do you think they're going to go back on track with giving us Be a Kiss 1 month after? I know you mentioned the summer and summer being a big time. We actually have Lost Ark summer as a topic, but do you think they're going to get back on schedule with giving us regularly released raids going forward now, like 1 month after, similar to Japan, or do you think it's going to be a bit slower going forward?
To be honest, I do think that they're going to speed things up, but I don't know if it's going to be 6 months or 7 months, 8 months, 10 months, a year. Especially when it comes down to a brochure. A brochure is like, it starts at 1490, right?
Mm-hmm.
I see a good chance of it coming by winter, I guess, for the winter vacation, Astelgia update. Like the big one we had in Korea. I have a feeling something like that might come for the winter. So maybe for the summer, like Valtan, Vicus, and in the middle, maybe Kakulseidon. And then at least by winter, I have a feeling, at least by this year, I have a feeling that a brochure is going to come out.
Chat, someone said despair in the chat, but 6 months would make it January, so that's or November, and then we have December right after. It's like 7 months.
The timing seems right.
It seems about okay, right?
Because if it's January, we would be like doing like a con or something. Or DMI.
You said, Zeals, in your stream that you feel like they're setting us up for something kind of big, right? Like they're what you maybe you could explain to everyone listening what you were talking about, but that what does all of this mean? Like, why are we getting all these extra materials, this extra time, this arc pass this early? What do you think? Do you think they're setting us up for a lot of raids back to back?
Well, like we said about Valtan, getting people to taste Valtan is like this entirety, the whole arc pass, all this business, this whole month is about that. And then after that, I think they could slap us back to back, because the thing about Lost Ark that is so addicting, especially ults, is if you just hold one more time, you enter a new raid or new difficulty. If you just do one more, and then you end up in Breshaza, right? So you go from being a Valtan alt, and then now it becomes your fucking second main, right? Like that's the whole point of this game. You just do one more. You know that, chat. Like you do. If I just cut one more rock, it's the same thing in this game. Yeah,
just one more pity. Just one more pity.
Like, yeah, just one more time. So you go to 1415 to 1430. Now you can do Vicus normal. That's 2 raids.
Yep.
Now
that's
you can,
already.
Yeah, man. You could do it with your little church friends, or you could do it with your little guildies or something. And then you hold one more time. Now you could do hard mode Valtan. You do one more, you go to Vicus hard, and then now next one at 1475, you could do Cuckoo Satan, and then after that you go to Breshaza normal. Yep. And then Breshaza gives you gear and free item level, right?
Yep.
It never ends, man. That's how they get you.
Yep.
Well, that's how they got me. You know what I mean? Like that's
how they got you.
That's how they got. No, I came into the game, dude, and Valtan and Beakiss were out. It was the same. Hyper Express had just hit. It was around the same time as you, ATK, right? Like around the same. Yeah. And I did Valtan. Then Beakiss was there, and after I finished Valtan, I'm like, oh my god, if I just go a little bit further, there's Beakiss. Let's go do that, And then they released Clown. I'm like, oh, I got to get to Clown. And then it was just always this. There was all this content, and so I actually feel like I said something big in chat, like something big, Gofium, but I feel like the game is really close to being really good. And what I mean by that is the game right now has like 550,000 people playing it. Let's say 250,000 of them are bots. Okay. Let's say half of the player base are bots or whatever. I'm just throwing a number out there. So let's say there's 250,000 people playing 300K at peak, right? That's with nothing. You know what I mean? That's with living Yoho Simulator for the average player, right? Like literally living in Yoho Simulator.
Yoho Simulator.
You know, you do your Argos and your Yoho Simulator.
I mean, that's why I also say come back, right? Like come back later.
Yeah, you could. That's a good topic, but yeah, you
that's
I mean, no, it's fine. We can talk about it. I think it's okay to take a break, come back, chill out, do whatever. You don't have to play right now if you don't, if you're not enjoying the form. But some people do enjoy it. That's why there's 250,000 people still playing the game after. I think I checked the new world at this point. It was at 60,000 players. Right? So let's just say half the player base are bots. I don't know if that's a good assumption. It's 250,000 people doing Yoho Simulator. If we do get Valtan and then 1 month later Elgacia, that's when the game is good. Right? You can finish your relic set. You get the horns or the wings and the plates. You finish your set, and that's when I got hooked. Right? Mm-hmm. And hearing you guys talk about not liking Argos, I feel like the game is really close to being good, and I think a lot of people, if they do a Hyper Express, will be like, oh shit, this is a lot of fun. Having those 2 raids is what the game kind of needs. And so I'm hearing Saint talk about, if we can have that 1 month release schedule, because that's what was leaked, right? Was, Valtan 1 month later Elgacia, right, Saint?
Oh.
That was what the leak showed, and then again it matched up with Japan's release cadence. So you would think that it was at least their original intention. I don't know if they'll adjust it because now the gap between South Vern and Valtan is actually the longest among all regions. Korea, we waited 2 weeks from South Vern to Valtan, and all the other regions released Valtan immediately with South Vern. So the West having a month between South Vern and Valtan is the longest. However, the circumstance is also very different because the West got rushed here way faster than any other region, whereas all other regions had between 2 to 3, a year to 1 to 2 years before even getting to this point. Whereas you've only had 2-3 months, so it kind of makes sense that they added a bit of a gap.
Yeah,
go for it. Okay, sorry.
Oh no, just adding, it's a lot. They got it's super fast. It's actually too fast.
Imagine if I was just chat this. Imagine if it was it was 2 months per tier, and then after let's say 6 months, oh shit, boys, Argos is coming out, right? Or oh my gosh, after 4 months, Punika, it's time to do Armored Nakarcena. That's gonna be that. Dude, imagine the despair that. People would be excited about that, And so we are going at a decent.
There's no way Gold River would do that.
It would have been pain. It would have been so.
We're practically playing a different game. We're doing, Kangol, Belshazzar, Cook Satan, Vicus on one character in the same week, all amazingly well-designed raids. They're doing Argos and Aurea, and that's it.
Yeah, it's
pain. That'd be a very bad
game at this point.
That'd be very bad. It's a very different game.
Well,
it is still a very different game.
But that just goes to the whole reinforcement of the idea of it gets better, as much as you hate hearing that same spiel echoed over and over and over.
Yeah, that's why I'm excited when the game catches up. I can actually have a conversation instead of because sometimes when people ask a question, I can't really answer it because it only causes more confusion, right? Because you don't need to tell you don't need to explain what each relic sets do yet, that kind of stuff.
I hate that so much, dude. I hate every single day. I use my awakening in the workshop, and I get 5 questions. Why are you using your awakening? I'm like, please, for the love of God, give them Valtan so they can stop asking this goddamn question.
Wow, even Saint is okay. It even broke you, huh? I was wondering to my chat, I wonder when Saint gonna get braked, when everyone's gonna ask the exact same question over and over every day. And the thing is, every time I see you, you just answer it with the same tone. I'm like, is this guy a robot?
You know when we were doing Kayangere, right? Like Kayangere, I was playing War Dancer. I do
gonna
the
say
snapshot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do the snapshotting, changing accessories, do the
Yeah.
ult. They're like, why does Zeals always ult? And then my chat, like they're nice enough to answer for me at this point.
Yeah.
Like, thank God.
Yeah, it's just
But
classic.
I don't
People
get
were
angry about
asking
it.
me. People were always asking me, "What is that ring around your paladin?" I
Yeah.
got like,
See that a lot.
Oh, the
They
gold ring.
have their identity
What is the gold
aura
ring around
100%
your
of
paladin?
the time up.
Yep.
All right.
And I don't want to get to the engraving parts either, because they always ask the engraving, why do you go spare the sorcery, that kind of stuff, right? There you go. A lot of it's like the knowledge base is so different that sometimes
Yeah, but like
you can't answer, you know? Like,
exactly. And once they get Valtan and then they have the sets themselves, they won't
Yeah.
ask it anymore
yeah,
because
yeah.
and they'll know just from
Well, they'll
using
have
it
a
themselves.
better question, to like discuss about, and it'll be more fun. There'll be more color, instead of just one or zero.
I mean, it's much better than release, like the conversation we're having at least.
Yeah,
With
for
the
sure.
chat,
For
with the
sure.
chat, like,
For
holy
sure. For
crap.
sure. I feel like everything's a bit better
The
now.
best boat.
Yeah.
I mean,
Where's
the
the best
best
place
part,
to fish?
yeah. I mean, you know when the game just came out and all of us are streaming and stuff. The funniest question that now we can go revisit is I got to level 30. Should I re-roll my main? I mean, that was the questions that I was. Now everyone can laugh at that.
We still get the same question, just in a different way now. Now it's
Yeah.
I'm
14
13.
is it too late for me to re-roll my main?
Yeah, it's a good point.
It's the same question, but in a different way.
But I'm just saying that now everyone can laugh at that, saying like how we felt when because in the level 30 player point of view, it's serious, right? But like in us is like like, that was one of the best questions.
Oh, I wanted to ask you guys, like, do people ask you how hard is it to change your main
Yeah, all the time.
at some point?
Every day.
Yep.
Every day?
Every day.
What's your answer?
I say it's not that hard.
I say right
You say
now
it's
it's the
not that
best. You better do it now, right? Like do it now if you're gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Uh.
Because the longer you wait, it's just.
I don't even answer it at all. I just skip over it.
Oh really? I always say it's easy, because like eventually you have more than one main.
True.
I don't freak them out. I don't be like, it's gonna get too late. They're always gonna add like catch-up mechanics, guys. Don't freak out.
Yeah.
Just don't change mains too often because of the meta.
Right.
Unless people misquote me all the time. They're like, "Oh, but you should just play what is fun." But you got to put the other part of there's two phrases in the sentence. Unless if you're gonna chase the meta, chase it. If you have a Visa, like
Yep.
the best
If you have Visa power,
like the VIP card, dude.
Yeah.
If
I mean,
you-
the money
Other than
fixes
that,
everything.
Okay. All right.
if you have Visa power, yep. Okay, the next topic I actually have is speaking of setting up for something big, right? Summer. Summer coming up pretty soon, right? I mean, summer in
It's May
Lost
already,
Ark is
yeah.
big. And I feel like this summer is when it's going to be. I'm super excited for the summer. Okay, so I'm going to pass
Are you really?
Oh, yeah, of course I am, man. I love
Are
summertime.
you scared?
No. I want to be scared.
What if we get like a Loa Mini
Dude, that's what
and you see like the booba in Korea, like the water space land now in Elgacia, and then NA gets like no booba. You're ready for that?
I'm ready for that.
You're probably gonna get
And
I-
it could be something like, let's go on a picnic. It gives you,
No,
like, a
I think they're
picnic
gonna
dress.
get Maharaka, the event
Yeah.
island. That's a good one.
So summer
Baraka's good.
so summer in Lost Ark, right, is big
Yeah.
for a lot of people that don't know. I'll ask why they do it for summer. We'll go to you, Zeals, but summer is big in Lost Ark because this summer, new Akon raid, right? New Legion raid, most likely. Aeromancer, most likely, right? Loa-on Mini, which is like our version of I don't know what Final Fantasy has.
BlizzCon?
It's like BlizzCon for WoW, right? We have one of those. So we get to hear from the director about what's going on with the game, the plans. We're going to get a new roadmap for the summer for the Western region. We also are going to get summer skins. We're looking at for sure having Beatrice out at that point in the game. And then also maybe we'll have Clown at some point during the summer. We don't know. But also the event, the summer events. So why is summer so big though? Why? So all of these things come in the summer. Huge time for Lost Ark in general. Why is that though, Zeals? Why is summer so big for Lost Ark? Do you know? Like, any idea?
Well, the thing that the director says is, we'll make these great things for your summer, so come here and enjoy it for free. He says that like pretty much word for word.
Yeah.
So just come and make good memories. We'll stuff you with mats, things to do, events, and yeah, there's always gonna be like that new class as well, the hype, new raid, new content, new quality of feature. Like just it gets so many new players, right? I think you're getting queues again now, ATK, right? Because of Elgacia.
Oh yeah. Dude, I
Yeah.
I got queues yesterday or the day before.
Mm.
I've been getting queues. Because
Yeah.
it's Lupeon.
And I feel like the economy started back up as well. Like
Yep.
things are going up in price.
Coming back.
Yeah.
Coming back.
Swipers
But
are back.
summer season wise, summer is when a lot of
Mm.
Koreans just play games.
Yeah, play games.
That's everywhere in
Summer's
the
great.
world.
That's
yeah.
what
Yeah,
I was
That's
gonna.
everywhere, right?
That's what I was gonna say.
Summer
Right?
and winter.
Summer and winter.
Luan,
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
in one of the Luan's, director did mention that these vacation seasons is usually when the gaming industries are focused on
Yes.
for their contents and stuff. He
We call
mentioned
it
that.
peak season. Well, we call it the peak season in the game industry.
Yeah, in the
Time
gaming
where
industry. So,
companies can make the most money from players.
right. So it's not just Lost Ark, it's every game, but
Every Korean game.
yeah, but Lost Ark especially, they know how to hype it up.
Yep.
And they proved in the past that in the summer and the winter, by giving out these big events, skins, like and in the trailers, they show you how these like islands, they're basically at a water park, like shooting water guns. It's just fun. I mean, it just looks fun. It gets you excited.
It was
Yeah,
really
it
good. The
does.
trailer was really good. Like the
Yeah.
water guns and the
Mini
man.
games.
Yeah.
The first Naruni racing.
It's like that was like the first year where like the event started getting really good. Like if you look at the summer event from the year before it, it was But Maharaka was fantastic. I loved
Yeah.
that summer event a lot.
Yeah, if you don't know, chat, the summer event for Lost Ark, at least the one that we're expecting, is probably going to be the water park, right? The Maharaka with the giant, and that's like a little water park type event that will have skins with it, but lots of ways to earn mats, and it's like legitimately a water park. I'll actually probably pull up a clip to show chat on screen of like probably the skins trailer will have it. But what are you looking forward to for both NA and KR Zeals for the summer? What are you looking forward to for the Western region, I should say, because it's EU included, and then what are you looking for when it comes to KR?
Oh man, no man. Like last year we got Sorceress dropped in August. Like the trailer was amazing. That got me so excited. So many people excited. Like even in those in NAU as well that knew about Lost Ark. This year it's gonna be Aeromancer. Like the director said, it's gonna be around after the monsoon season, which is gonna be around late July, August. So man, it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna hype crowd like crazy, right? And what are we gonna get in NAU to compensate that level of hype? You know what I mean? It better be a banger job, is all I'm saying.
It's always gonna feel a little rough though, I think, because I think some people in NA and EU might feel like they're getting like hand-me-downs, you know what I mean? Whereas like KR always gets like the new fancy stuff.
Yeah, I think they're also worried about the IAI class. They're like, is it even calm? Is it gonna be like grown up in our version? Like we have like is she gonna take some growth hormones? Like, is she gonna be steroided? Like nobody knows. Like everyone's like it's sad because like I see like the forums and the Twitter posts, they're trying to like guess what's gonna happen.
Sad,
You know?
sad.
Grown up artists.
Instead of like it's
Grown-up
coming.
artist.
Ayaya is part of the game, right? Because I don't know.
Grown up artist.
Yeah, grown up.
I mean, if anything, you know, at least we all of us agree here that we're gonna have Beatrice out at that point, right?
Probably
Beatrice will
next
be out in the
year.
summer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think so.
I think the initial impressions like, oh, Korea's getting this, but then once like the NA stuff comes, people will be still happy. They're gonna be
It's not
still
just Ficus either, because like the way that Lost Ark does the roadmap is they don't just give like the next month; they give you like a
Right.
portion of the year.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
don't just see like Ficus in June or July, but you also see like okay, well now Cook Satan's like a month or two after that. Like you would see it visibly in the roadmap. Unfortunately, the folks in NA and EU only got a 2-month roadmap, and the reason they only got a 2-month roadmap is because that's around the time that the Korean roadmap also ends. And then I guess all regions moving forward should expect their summer
Wow.
roadmap next.
Oh
Well,
man, you
Sorry, go for it, Zeals.
sorry. Speaking of the roadmap, like our roadmap, like I don't want to like complain, but like they didn't even do a good job about the Express event, man. Like Express is such a huge deal.
Yeah,
You know, like
I,
we even have a tutorial video in Korea with like 1 million views.
yeah, I'm gonna.
Explain the Express.
I don't want to be mean about it, but I do want to go on this little rant about it because I did talk about it on stream, and this isn't to be disrespectful. So if anyone at Amazon sees this, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Okay, I'm just giving you my personal opinion, and I could be wrong. Okay, I feel like the Express event was so damn good, and it was the best thing for any new player looking to get into Lost Ark. Right, my friend, it's the best time for him to try the game right now. That hasn't played it before because of the Express event. Right, gets to skip honing levels. Tons of mats and rewards, silver, everything you need to actually play the game. And it was explained so poorly that when we read through it, no one even like, oh, what is this? No one really cares about it. Oh, I think it's Story Express, right? That's what we were kind of talking about. And the problem is, and in my opinion, it's just, you know, what do I know, right? Like, well, then again, all of us do social media here. So what I would say is that Sci-Fi, right? They put out a really good video of him explaining all of the features in this April update. But I feel like it's marketed so poorly, and you can see it in some of the viewership on their videos, right? It's the thumbnail isn't really, it's not very clickbaity. No one's going to click on that, and it's labeled as like something top 5. But it needs to be more like, hey, here's everything coming in our summer event. And by the way, this is the best time if you're looking to get into Lost Ark, tons of free rewards, easy progression, like market it. You know what I mean? Because it's an amazing patch, right? I think anyone that plays in the West, I'll let you go in 1 second. I think anyone that's playing in the West right now thinks that this patch is a fantastic catch-up patch, right? It's huge, but it's not marketed as such in the thumbnail and in the title. Sci-Fi does a great job at putting the videos out, explaining everything. They are failing, I think, in the marketing of such an event. And I would like to see that changed because I don't want to see that going forward. What do you want to say, Zeals? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I mean, they just missed the mark, man. Like it's like the best way to get new players or get them back, those who quit. And they didn't market it. They even could do drops, right? Even though I'm not a really big fan of drops, but they could like they have way more tools to as publishers to get the word out, right?
Yeah, because
so I really hope for the next one at least. They hype the crap out, run ads on their own, you know, Twitch channel. Because I know they run ads in Korea.
Yeah.
When I watch, Elgacia ads are on YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah,
I watch that too. Like so, yeah.
I just think that you're running the YouTube channel, right? I'm not sure they're running the YouTube channel, and like the content isn't bad. It's just I mean, come on, I feel bad even saying this. Like, is it my place to say it? But as a player, I feel like, dude, the YouTube channel, like, dude, I could put up a goddamn thumbnail and I'll do it. You know what I mean? I'll make you a goddamn thumbnail and, you know, I'll put it up there for free. I can't even see the land smash. I don't know what's going on the damn thing. It's just like, why is it top 5? It's just not marketed well. Clickbait the hell out of it. Let everyone know, hey, you had a hard time progressing the first time through. This is the best time to give the game another shot. Right? It just seems like a lost opportunity there. Did want to talk about the roadmap though. Okay? Roadmap's going to end this month, right? It is going to end this month. This is the end of the roadmap, this update. What are your expectations ATK, what do you think what do you think players can expect in the upcoming roadmap? I know you're bigger on KR and stuff like that, but what do you think we're gonna see in this roadmap if you had to guess?
Oh, the next roadmap?
Yeah.
Well, it's Valtan's done, right?
Valtan and Destroyer, and we're getting
Yeah,
heroic
Valtan's
Guardian
done.
raids. That's the roadmap.
So, I mean, you got Viakiss, right? I think they might put Viakiss at the very end of the roadmap. That makes sense. That's actually that's about it though to me. And then you have the summer update, that the new island. Yeah, I think that's about it. But
No
for the two classes though, that's actually confusing to me because like I think they should release artists faster, because NA has I think the biggest NA problem is lack of supports, and they don't want to put support. But the problem is at the same time, releasing artists might not fix it because majority of them gonna play DPS artists. That's what I think. But the thing is, the problem is at least have some support choices, you know. So I think it'd be a very good choice if they just release artists first, because they did release sorcerers first, right? Like super early. So I think it's not like technologically like, you know, bounded, but you know, if they release another support, I think that'd be a better idea. So if they ever release artists, if you're ever thinking of releasing artists first, if they're having like a meeting of like which classes should they release first, I think in one of them should be artists and one of them should be something that is based on popularity, like maybe like a scouter or something.
They did say, Rox did say that we can expect to see the older classes first going forward.
Yeah. So you can have older class and then you can have a newer class.
Yeah, I
right?
think so. I think
So it balances it out.
What do you think, Benji, will be on this? You know, I know you like you mentioned before that Smilegate likes to do it up for the summer. Saying that we can expect going forward kind of a more on both of them being released at the same time and things like that. These roadmaps. What do you expect to see on this roadmap? We have Destroyer, Valtan on this one, Heroic Guardian raids. What do you expect to see on the next one?
Viakiss for sure. Bikini skins.
Okay.
Or swimsuit skins, whatever. 2 more classes with Power Pass, with the Hyper Express.
Oh, Hyper Express. Okay.
Yes. Maybe with another Arc Pass, maybe.
Wow, that's a big summer right there. That's huge.
Yeah,
That's
because Korea, we got a Striker and Gunslinger at the same time with 2 Power Passes. I'm gonna say it so they feel pressured. We got Striker and Gunslinger at the same time. So I think I think they're gonna release 2 new classes, and with events to boost those characters up. Probably by the end of the summer, maybe Kaku Seidon.
Dude,
And some
I mean,
quality
can
of life
you make the
updates.
goddamn? Can I play your version of the game on the West? Huh? Let's fucking go. I want
Let's
that. Does that
go.
sound good? Huh? Let's do that. What do you think,
This
Saint?
is- yeah.
What do you think, Saint? What do you think?
Yeah, pretty similar. I mean, the
Really?
last few peak seasons that we've had in Korea, they give at least 2 power passes, or they'll give a power pass and like a story express or something. So I think that aligns pretty well. I think the idea that we're going to get more than one class is pretty spot on. Maybe it's a situation where we get like 2 classes and they give us multiple power passes. Maybe they might be at the same time. Maybe they may be staggered and they'll say, oh, here's 2 power passes, but it's, you know, if you want to save one for the class coming out later, you know, you can do that. Bike is for sure later in the roadmap. Cook Satan by like latest August, I would imagine. Mahawk is big, but I think the big things really are the event power passes, which I'm sure they will give like because they always do that. they literally always do that, and it's an easy way to get friends back into the game if you have power passes that put them to at least Punica, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Hyper Express? Yes or no? You think?
Yeah, I mean, Hyper Express is a great event.
You think?
'Cause
You
it's,
think if you had a
it's,
guess, yeah.
Like you work through it. and you get rewards along the way, which is great for retention.
What do you expect, Zeals, to see on this roadmap? It's gonna be soon. We're gonna get a roadmap. That's, I mean, copium soon. So, what do you think is gonna be on this roadmap?
I think they should do 3 months, and they need to stop playing too safe.
Yeah.
Well, they like if like they always dodge the artist question. Is she like even gonna be in the game or like? Okay, so about the roadmap, want to get a summer event. I think they're gonna recycle Maharaka, a great island. I think the combination. There's gonna be an arc pass. I think season 2, as soon as season 1 ends, and then oof, arc. Okay, yeah. I think arc pass is gonna come. I don't know about 2 classes, but yeah. Well, I think I'm sure we'll get like 2 classes, but I kind of feel like maybe not. But yeah, 2 classes. I think Vicus will be relatively soon, and then Cuckoo towards the end as well. But Hyper Express should come out. But Hyper Express is one of the best events ever. I think it gets the community
I think
so
it's so
excited.
good. I think I agree.
It's so good for us too because so much content. People always ask like, where should I use it on? Who should I use it on? Should I save it? Like, like should I save it later for the second class that's coming out, or should I use it for the main swap or something? Like it's not just the Hyper Express is great. It's the combination of that with the summer event, with the Arc Pass, and just regular event, all that.
A lot of people are asking what
So-
Hyper Express is. I just want to explain it to them really quickly. Hyper Express, for those guys that don't know, it's different than Story Express. Hyper Express, similar in the way that you're getting a bunch of free stuff, but you select a character, and then in the newer version of Hyper Express, you can actually change your character. But the Hyper Express that I went through was how I actually got into the game, and basically every time you hit an item level threshold, you're rewarded with silver and materials to help you hit the next threshold. And the one that I went through was up to 1415. I think that was the one that we came, right? ATK, that was the first one. Was it 1415?
Yeah.
And you get rewards every single item level threshold. That's just going to help you. Engraving books, etc. Gold, which I don't know if they're going to do. We'll see if they alter it a little bit. But gold, books, cards, accessories, tons of stuff, right? And then for completing the entire thing, you get a fat chest at the end of just a bunch of
Dude.
rewards.
The
free.
Express event that the West got, their end reward
It's
was like
insane.
was
Yeah, it's
roided. That was like way better than any end reward we've ever gotten in Korea.
Yeah, that's why I'm upset that the Amazonians didn't promote it the right way.
It was
it's
so
so much.
crazy how much stuff they got from that.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to go back on it, but I'm so with you. I was ranting about it on my stream. Like, dude, this is insane rewards. Like, how there was nothing on the patch. No, I guess it's the surprise factor, but dude, I mean,
Prize factor,
I
I
listened
just
to
don't think
Scar.
they knew what it is. I just don't think they know what it is.
Yeah.
Scar
Yeah,
was
they know.
ranting about
They
it
know.
too. I
Amazon
mean,
doesn't know what it is.
they probably don't. Scar was ranting about it too on his stream. He's like, dude, what the hell is this? Like, all my friends, when I showed them this, were like, yo, that's insane. Right? And no one even knew what it was. And then on the top of it, it was so poorly explained that people picked it on the wrong character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was so poorly explained that people messed it up.
Yeah.
I just, look,
I have a feeling Gold River was upset about that too. Maybe if I was Go, I'd be very upset because that's a lack of communication, right? It happens.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
want-
mean,
that
if I
stuff
was-
had to be
yeah.
beefed up because of Smilegate. Like they wanted more stuff for the West. So, it can't be stated enough just how crazy that chest was. Like
Right.
we got like half that stuff in our
Yeah,
Express end
Half
chest.
of it.
Like
So
if you, yeah,
but-
yeah, it was really good. But then, like, I'm pretty sure Smilegate would have told the Amazonians that this is crazy good, and to promote it. What happened? What happened between those two? You know what I mean? Like, we'll never know. But
Mhm.
Maybe someone didn't read the email.
dude, if I wouldn't be sending email, man, I'd be using the red phone, dude, using the hotline, dude.
No, I
That
mean,
was,
like I said, did you guys know that Sci-Fi put out a video? Not him. He's the one narrating it. I hate using that because I want people to. Did you guys know Amazon put out a video explaining the event, the rewards, and this April update? Did you guys know it?
I know about it, but what does Smilegate? I mean, what does Smilegate do about HyperXpress? Was it the day before? No, it's months before, right?
The video got
Like in the
1,500.
roadmap,
Mhm.
it's in the roadmap. Like the director explains that HyperXpress is coming in a PowerPoint. Like it's like 2 months ahead.
The HyperXpress has a long explanation on it, right? On the
Mhm.
Lost Ark KR YouTube channel. This video got 1,500 views. It's a good video.
Wow.
It's who saw that? You know what I mean?
You
So
know
it's
what's crazier?
it's titled.
Joe Niani got 2 million views explaining the.
It's frustrating. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, if anyone sees this, it's not ragging. The event's fantastic. You guys did a good job with the actual patch itself. I think it's well received in terms of people that experienced it. The feedback is that I think it was marketed poorly, and it was a
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's great. It's really great, but it needed more eyeballs. That's all.
Mhm. Yeah. Roadmap expectations for me. I just want Saints and Benji's roadmap. I want Kuko at the end of the summer. That just sounds so exciting for me. That shows me reminds me how much I like the game because I got so excited hearing that. I want the Booba skins in the summer. I want the water park. I want to go there. I like the Nuni Racing event. I like things that remind me that it's an MMO. I feel like Lost Ark, that's the one thing that the game kind of lacks. And the events really bring that feeling back of seeing everyone on these islands. It's really cool. I want the skins. I want the island. Hyper Express sounds so great. 2 classes. And then Kuka at the end of the summer would be so sick, man. Because then I would feel like we're literally back almost to where the game is like, oh, this is so much fun. And I think the player base would be so excited to experience that. So Lost Ark, summertime is huge. You guys have been in despair for a while living in Yoho Simulator, but it actually looks like there's a lot of exciting stuff coming and Copium. And I really am excited for it personally as a player. Okay. We talked a little about class release schedules. What do you guys think? I know, Saint, you said 1 month raid. 1 month, raid, potentially spacings, maybe April or Clown a little bit after. But what do you think about classes? Do you think we're going to continue to get this 1 month, class every month, Saint? Or do you think it's going to be spaced differently?
At least until all the original missing classes, like Summoner, Arcana, and Destroyer, get added back into the game. I could see those coming quickly at the very least. But there's a good chance that they might want to hold classes for the peak seasons. I mean, it's just so common that class releases, content releases, and everything usually align most with summer and winter.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Basically every game. So maybe get the original classes back in quickly, and then after that, we might see classes come quicker than they came in Korea until you eventually catch up. But maybe they might space them out a little bit more after.
What do you think about, Benji, what do you think about them releasing the older classes first, right? Because we're getting Destroyer. People are assuming Arcana. Rock said that you can expect the older classes before the newer ones, which means Artist, as much as people want it, might be far away. What do you think about them releasing some of the older ones first? So that would be Destroyer, Arcana, and what would be next?
I think they should
Scout.
release classes that are ready, I guess. More ready. Like Scouter's kind of ready for release. It's pretty balanced. It's a decent class. What's another class that's not released yet?
There is Arcana and Reaper.
Arcana? Yeah, Reaper probably. Arcana too. I mean, there's only one mage class, right? Well, never mind. There's Sork and Bard. Summoner or Arcana, I guess. Yeah.
They should just release like most of the classes though.
But
Pipe Dream.
adding Artist would help out the support situation a little bit more, so they might consider releasing Artist. I'm not sure about which classes first though, but I think they should release classes that are ready.
Yeah.
Like balanced.
Yeah.
That's what I think they're doing right now with the balance patch right now in Korea.
Imagine Aeromancer's global release.
Yeah,
Dude.
Yeah, I wanted to talk
Yeah,
about global
Okay,
stuff.
go for it. Go for it, Zeals.
Yeah, like Aeromancer Global, or like, yeah, I guess we can't like. I just wait. I just wish. I mean, the director also wished this too, but I don't know if it's possible. But it would be great to have like Hyangare, for example, launching. We talked about this, like launching in all regions. Like that would have been sick.
Yeah, it would have been sick.
Like Twitch would have blown up.
I-
Yeah, it would have been so good. Elgacia on all regions together. One day, if that day comes, I think it'll be super super exciting.
One day, like
They
when
dodged the question when that was asked during the Cron channel. They gave a very roundabout answer
Yeah, they did. You're right.
during the interview when they asked if they could ever see the Western version catch up to Korea, and they gave a complete non-answer instead of like an affirmation that that's what they were aiming for.
I chat saying holy copium, but I do you guys think that we're talking about class release schedules, but do you guys think that that was kind of the plan because this year in Korea, horizontal stuff, new zones, UI changes, quality of life features, right?
Yeah.
And then they were trying to spit out these raids really quickly. Maybe not get them, obviously it's going to take forever to get it right there, but to get it as close as possible. Is that you guys, or do you think that's still the plan? Was it the plan, or do you think it's still the plan?
Sorry, what was the question?
Do you think that that was the intention at first with the NA launch, with the pacing of NA, and then KR at the same time having so much horizontal quality of life changes, right? 2 less raids, so less vertical content, more horizontal content.
I mean, I think their goal really was just get NA and EU to Legion raids ASAP. I think that's where the whole expedition part came from. But I think logistically it would be extremely hard to actually catch up all regions on the same patch, especially considering that Smilegate is kind of offloading the publication of their game to these different companies throughout the world who each need to be sent a different fork of the build, which then needs to be localized. It's not like games like Final Fantasy or World of Warcraft that handle almost all of the localization internally within their own company and publish the game themselves. A lot of people sometimes ask, like, why isn't Final Fantasy 14 popular in Korea? That's because Korea has to face the same exact thing that NA and EU people have to face with Korean games in the West, in the sense that Final Fantasy 14 in Korea is handled by a different publication company, and they are behind on patches. It's like an Uno reverse kind of thing, and they're constantly behind.
Yep.
And nobody likes that, but at the same time, they don't have what it takes to actually put it on the same patch. So it's tough. And I know that Smilegate is hiring. They're definitely trying to hire, but filling headcount in these companies is it is hard. It is very hard to actually find qualified people for the positions that they're looking for. And also in Korea, there's a bit of a problem right now where there's a lot of rampant poaching that's been going on in the past year and a half. Pretty much around the time when COVID started, a lot of companies began poaching employees from other Korean game companies to fill out their own headcount, offering better, more competitive salaries. And it's tough right now for game companies to actually hire.
Isn't Ashes of Creation doing the same? They're all poaching though. Yeah, you're right. They're all.
They do be
Oh, man,
poaching. They poach they were poaching from people from Terra or which games was it? Is it Terra or something? I don't know.
Terra's shutting down.
Yeah, but I think they've been poaching. Yeah.
Yeah, poaching.
I think it was Terra. I could be wrong though.
I mean, past year, all the crypto-based companies were poaching too. I've seen those.
It's hard to get
for the NFT games.
hard to get work right now in general.
They got the hard cash from that crypto money, man. I remember some of these guys, my dev friends, they go like, "Yo, this is an NFT game." They go they're poaching me. It's like how much? It goes 3 times my salary, dude. I'm like, "Yo, you should go. You should go and get the money and leave."
I mean, yeah, that's a big thing. These people that work for these game companies, first of all, game company salaries are terrible. Literally, if you take your skills to any other industry, you will make more than what you make in a game company, in an equivalent game company. So these people, like, if they're working here, that they must really like want to work in the game industry. Otherwise, they're literally gypping themselves out of money.
Mhm.
And so when a better offer comes along, it's like, it's nothing personal. It's just business. If someone's going to offer me like a 20-30% increase over my previous salary, they'll jump ship. The guy who designed the Berserker Second Awakening, the giant Berserker's Fury sword, or Scouter's Awakening with the carpet bomb and a bunch of the attacks from like Abortion and whatnot, he left the company I can't remember, it was like a year or two ago from Smilegate, because he just got a better offer, and it's like at that point you just take it, what puts food on the table.
I have a question. I mean, not to take us, well, to bring us back on topic, but also not to derail us. But why can't we have? Cause we're talking about people getting poached, needing workers, things like that. Global releases. Why can't we have Aeromancer global release? What is the what? I mean, it's just I'm asking. I'm curious. What would be the limitation there? I mean, I know like sets are different. Maybe they design it.
Yeah, there's no limitation.
Wouldn't that just be? Because if you brought it up, Zeals, what do you think about that? You think
maybe the female berserker? I don't know. I don't know where the Amazonians sit with the Ayaya in general. They dodge it like crazy, man.
You really think that?
You know they do. They dodge it, man.
I'm not following the
Everyone
IAI
dodges it.
train as much. Someone in my chat said something crazy, like, "Oh, you get banned for bringing it up on the forums or something." I'm not sure if that's true or not, but
I mean, yeah, that's
I
too
think
much.
female
Like, I think
berserker could be global. Yeah.
female Zerker could be global, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my biggest my biggest hope, right? That could be super epic that I would love to see in the future is I want Theamine raid to be global.
No shot. There's no way that
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying the biggest hopium, right?
That is
like that's my
No,
biggest.
hey, think
That
about
is
this.
holy
We got a
copium.
guy in this call who has access. Cares. Is he ready for Theamine?
Wait, what?
We have a guy in this call
Uh-huh.
that has access to the Korean server. Is he ready for the Theamine?
I'm not even ready for your damn fucking game.
That's exactly
Are
what
we
we're
trying to do
saying,
1.1 through 4 at some point? By the way, I can't even finish my goddamn sentence. I have no cars, no goddamn gems. I'm not ready for
No, but I'm saying
I'm sweating about a con in the
next
summer.
year. Like next year when it's like about to come out. Like I'm gonna OD that hopium, man.
Yeah. Well, I think though, if I really hope they're not dodging the IA thing. Like, who gives? I mean, it's weird if you make it fucking. I mean, I don't want to get into this. Whatever. I would like to see Aeromancer global release. If not, I guess we could do female berserker. That would be cool. And I think more global release content feels good. Like, you know what really felt good? Speaking of global release content, was when we got in the West. I remember I got that KR package. I logged on KR, got the Makoko pet, the hoverboard, all of those things for the success of Lost Ark in the West. And then we got that in the West, like 2 days, 3 days later, like, or whatever, a week later. I'm like, damn, that felt good. And I bet you everyone in chat and everyone listening on YouTube or whatever, they also probably felt pretty good about that. Not only because the rewards were great, but it also felt like we were getting the same rewards as KR and it felt more equal. And I think
that would have been fucked up if the West didn't get that reward. A global celebration package.
yeah, I guess. I mean, no one really. I didn't think we were gonna get it.
Yeah.
I didn't think we would get that at all. And I don't even know if it was. You think it was planned the entire time, and that's a hey, we feel bad, or here it is anyway. Or you think it's that they fucked up and then they give it to us?
I think they changed their plans.
Yeah.
The
But I think
Mokoko
it- I
pet
think it-
was actually the Mokoko pet. They were actually going to use the Mokoko set when they were doing bad in sales. So they were planning to sell the Mokoko
Yeah,
pet.
they were-
Instead,
they
they
were-
decided to like give it to us. So I think they changed their plans according to like different situations, I guess.
Okay.
You know what's
They're
crazy,
pretty
though?
much
It's
free to
back.
do whatever they want to do, like to
It's back in
make the
KR,
users
though.
happy.
What is it?
We have the rewards again in Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
because
got
we were
two-
complaining, like, how come you only let us get one? We have to
So
choose from.
Stoopzz, you
so-
Oh,
fucked up, right?
the vendor. Oh, I can
Yeah,
fix
you
my
got the
ship.
dino.
No, you're.
Yeah. You
Wait.
got your little dino. Now you can get the cat in NA.
The
One
animal
day.
costumes.
Wait,
The animal costumes are back.
I thought there was only the pet and the board were available off the vendor. You're telling me
Well,
that
there was animal
Oh
custom too.
No, skin too.
the skins on
Yeah.
that vendor as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the fat cat, dude! I fucked up. Listen, dude, I thought the dino. First of all, I picked the dino, and then I picked it on a blade. I don't know what I was thinking. It was despair, and then everyone's this fat cat with the bucket hat. I'm like, I fucked up so bad, dude.
Yeah, I like
Despair.
the bucket hat cat. It's so cute.
I'm getting the cat.
I got the
for
bucket
sure.
hat too.
Yeah, that's
But
the,
you know what? They gotta sell that animal costume, man. It's not enough. Why are they not selling it? You know.
Speaking of which, man, I have a long list of things like I want like celebrated, like Mokoko stuff, right?
Yeah.
Anniversary
Mokoko stuff.
skins. Like,
Yeah.
it's like so long. I mean, I'm grateful for the haircut, making it really quick. The auction house change, making it really quick.
well, let's do that. I'm gonna write this down so I don't forget the timestamp for people listening on YouTube, and let's talk about things that skins and things that you want to see sooner. Zeals, what do you think? You mentioned the haircut. Go on the tangent.
Yeah, we're getting that. The auction house Mokoko skin, the pet farm, back attack, head attack indicator still. Like these are things that we don't necessarily need because Koreans have cleared the raid without those indicators, without the legendary pets, all
Mhm.
that. But I'm just saying, like, for those that are informed and know about what exists in NA and what exists in KR, I mean, I'm sure they want the pet farm and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's more things, horizontal stuff to grind as well. And I really want the horizontal stuff to come to KR as well, man. Like, like we read chat and some people are just burnt out of doing Chaos Dungeons and Guardians. Having that horizontal come to Korea soon and then to us, maybe that could be globalized as well,
Should
maybe
be.
that could come out. Yeah, like, because that's like what we need too. Like, if you're gonna delay the raids, cool, I get it, there's eye level and stuff. But man, if we got those little mini games, man, because people just are getting a little bit, they're feeling the repetitive grind. And I know that's an MMO, but you just
No, my
not a
K.
lot of your cage is smaller than my cage, is what I'm saying.
So
Right? We're all puppies,
Yeah.
but my cage is bigger.
One of the things that someone, my friend Aiden, and he also plays on KR. He was telling me, and I tell my chat this, that like although the raids are great and they do feel a void in the game, you are going to get to a point where the raids are on farm, right? And then the game eventually those raids will they're definitely more fun than doing Guardians. They're definitely more fun than doing Chaos Dungeons. But eventually it will feel like just something that you do for a clear. It's like a chore. I don't want to say chore, but homework, right? It's like you're doing it for gold. And I have something that will connect to this very well. So this is a good transition in general, but I really agree. I want to see more social aspects to the game, more horizontal content. I want the Estate Stronghold update, as I'm sure they're working on it. I want to see those things be implemented as soon as possible to the West so that you have those horizontal types of features to bring the social element out of Lost Ark to make it feel like more like an MMO, but also prevent players from eventually feeling that repetitiveness that even you'll feel in KR at some point, right? You feel it. It doesn't go away. Patches are getting exciting, but if you have that type of content, we can prevent it from, feeling it as hard in the West.
Yeah. Like the last podcast I was talking about, like the social stuff is missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that adding on top of that QOL stuff, I think those are the patches that can be done. Well, I don't know actually, because like I mean those should be a little better because that feels like if the QOL stuff was about the same as the Korean, the NA might feel that they're getting cared, right? That's what I think. Because like we still get people still ask the question how do you get the back and front indicators, and I think that's pretty bad, man. Because like these stuff should be there quick.
Yeah.
And content wise, if even if you're behind in content, they can understand. Like, sure, I can wait. I can't wait for new content because my eye level's not high enough, right? But something that is QOL should be like at least the same, and obviously balanced too, because the balance is different now in NA and Korea now, right?
Yeah.
They should be the same, so that like it doesn't impact the market too, right? For example, for like tripods and stuff.
I remember saying
Uh,
when I first got into the game, we were talking about being spoiled, and as I'm talking about this, I'm like, you know what, dude? I know that I want the horizontal stuff. It is a big endeavor with the stronghold, what it looks like, the mini game thing. That is a big endeavor. So obviously, some time. You're usually a bit more, I would say, reasonable than I am because I'm, well,
But if people ask me like what are the certain if I had to choose like one thing that could be like the same patch as Korea, it should be balance in QOL for sure. They gotta
Definitely
take care of that.
QOL.
QOL and balance.
'Cause it's not
Yeah.
sometimes it feels like it's not fair for me. To me, like when I play with NA or at the same time, it feels like it's not fair for me to have this much of a leisure playing in the Korean server compared to NA.
Hmm.
It's actually not fair. And it should be the same. Because
I agree with that. Yeah.
yeah. Like especially like a good example is I keep pressing Alt Q when I go to NA to access the Chaos Dungeon in the window. Like even that small thing, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair for NA because you waste so much time walking to the walking to the Chaos Dungeon kind of stuff, right? Like if the Korean server didn't have that feature either, it would have been fine. But like, why does Korea have it and then why does NA don't have it, right?
Do you
I think
think?
those are the stuff that's not fair.
Do you think though? I mean, how do I say this without? I don't know. All I can say is, do you think we're a little bit spoiled, Saint? Because it is a lot of content. Like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, I come from a game where you don't get a lot of content. Maybe and that's why I'm just jaded. Like, I've been abused or something. But it's a lot of content, dude. I mean, like, I'm just trying to be fair. All of the classes, the new raids, 2 new continents. We're gonna get another new continent. We want the stronghold stuff. We want the mini games in 1 year. It feels like a lot of stuff, but I want it.
I wouldn't call it spoiled. I would say like if the game is a good product, you would want it to be a good product as soon as it can possibly be a good product. There's nothing wrong with wanting all of those things sooner if it means that the game experience is better and more likely to retain its player base.
Good point.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, sure, wanting content like dungeons and raids, that might be a bit unreasonable because the overall player base needs time to grow their item levels into it. But literally everything else, when it comes to quality of life and horizontal content that may not be so directly involved with the vertical progression aspect of your character and can be there to be enjoyed immediately, you would want that as soon as possible for all regions so that
Oh, I
players
didn't mean
can-
QOL. I just meant
Yeah.
the content coming to KR in general.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
again,
I just don't know the devs. I feel bad for them, Like, I know it sounds weird, but the devs in KR, like, we always made that joke at Low On with like the little factory and they're printing the cookies, and it's like, dude, like, I just know devs don't get paid a lot, and it's a lot of content to put out, and I'm not sure if they sleep over there and shit, but that's just me being a little weenie, I guess. But yeah, I do want a lot of stuff sometimes, but I have to remind myself that maybe it's unreasonable to expect everything. I don't know.
I mean, you can say spoiled or not spoiled because, like, again, content-wise, you can wait, but some of the things that hinders your gameplay, you should
Sure.
be. It's not spoiled.
Sure.
Because
I agree.
because again, what I said before, it's actually not fair, right?
Honestly, I'm really surprised that like some of the quality of life is taking as long as it is to make it to the West.
Exactly. Yeah,
It-
I
it
thought
seems
it was
very-
gonna be exactly the same.
It seems drip fed, which like that's the kind of thing that you wouldn't want to actually be drip fed, unlike actual content. So it's a little surprising to me. I would have thought that a lot of things would have been there much sooner.
Hey man, just be honest, man. They're just being dumb, man. Come on, man. It doesn't surprise you
man.
at all.
But
You're
who's the
not
person
surprised?
making these patches? It has to be Smilegate. So
It's
why are
Dumb,
they?
man.
Is
Why
it?
are they
No, I'm being honest though, man.
Is
It's
it-
not fair.
is
That's
it-
it's not fair.
Do you think? What do you think, Benji? I mean, I said the same thing. Like, why is all the QOL because what did we get in this one? Just the maps in the last one, like the maps not being able to get schemazed. Why do you think all of the other QOL, the major ones? I think the indicator is going to be on there. The being able to move my UI, like I want to move my damn party around. I can't move it. Why do you think you think it's technical, or what do you think the reasoning is?
I have no clue. Like I started saying, people were asking about the indicators. Like, 2 months ago when they were watching my stream. And I always said it should be there soon. It's not too hard to implement these changes to the West. It's already there. I always told them like it should be there soon. It should be there soon. I've been saying that for freaking 2 months now, and
Yeah.
like I feel so.
You-
Yeah, I don't know why it's keeping them.
you know,
It's
I
not. It's not that difficult. I
You
you know,
guys
mean,
I
not bothered about
maybe.
behind.
you guys are not bothered by the auction house, man. The auction
Dude, I
house
cannot
Auction house is
stand.
insane,
Yeah.
Dude,
man.
I can't stand when I forget to select accessory and I lose. I want to.
Yeah.
It's so pain, dude. Yeah.
I
It's
bet.
weird
Okay,
because
so
I don't
like,
think there's any money to be earned by drip feeding quality of life. Like content and
Yeah.
classes, if you
Yes.
delay that, sure, they can make more money that way, but
Yeah.
there's no benefit to delaying quality of life.
Our compass still bugged, isn't it?
I don't know anymore. I don't even look at it anymore. I just don't even know if it's bugged.
I mean, also, so most.
By the
of-
way, hold on. Argo still says harmonious. By the way,
So
Yeah,
strange.
kinda
I don't even
stuff.
know how that
Yeah.
ended up there in the
because a
first.
mystic, I bet you, is like a mystic overlap. But Argo still says harmonious, meaning. So someone in my chat was like, "Stoopzz, will Valtan be harmonious like Argos is?" And I'm like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, those kind of stuff is it's showing basically to me, at least when I worked in companies, right? Those kind of tiny stuff is make it look like you're not professional.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna
I
say
agree.
that, like, because they're not being professionals. Those kind of small stuff makes them care. Like it's a small stuff, but it matters.
I
It's
agree.
not the big stuff because like they kind of adds it to a point that, oh, this dev actually cares about the small things, and if you fix it, it shows you that they actually care, and that brings more loyalty to the game, right?
agree,
And
yeah.
I've seen
Yeah,
so many
yeah.
different games. I've seen so many different games, including like Korea, right? And you see their management, like it's same for mobile games too. Like they don't care about the small stuff because they want to get the big stuff done, and they want to pull in new users, and they want to get the fast bucks, right? That's why most of the companies, their roadmaps, the QL stuff is always in the behind line, right?
Mhm.
They're always in the they're always in the side point in the back. They always never pull it up. They're saying like, hey, you gotta get this thing done. You gotta get this thing done, kind of thing. It's
Mhm.
not. It's always in levels too. You know, like the level of importance.
Mhm.
Like a 4 or 5 is always in like a service related things, and I think it should be backwards
Mhm.
because it's again, if I go over again about the QL stuff, like I think NA spend at least 50 or 60% more time on in general. Like they just waste 50 to 60% more time on things.
Well-
Even like auto dismantling. You guys don't have that either, right?
Well,
With the proper one.
let me
The proper auto dismantling.
let me move us to this. It's on topic, and it's just I'm gonna move everything around here. I'm gonna ask each of you then, because this was a question that somebody brought up to me,
Oh.
and I'm gonna ask each of you. They said I would curious to know what you guys individually think Amazon and Smilegate right now at this moment should focus on and prioritize, right? Because we're talking about all these things. I feel like it's relevant. We'll move on to the other topics afterwards. We'll start with you, Zeals. What do you think? And we'll go up from there. What do you think Smilegate and Amazon, a collective, what should they prioritize and focus on?
Oh my god.
If you had to pick one thing, I want one thing.
Botting, quality of life, communication.
I said one thing. Pick one thing. One thing.
I mean, I always get jaded the most by communication.
Okay.
It makes me quit games.
Yeah.
So communication.
What do you think they're
Like,
doing? What do you think they're doing? Yeah, give me some examples of what's been bad with communication.
So CMs are not communicators, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, just because they post every day doesn't mean it's good post,
Sure.
right? Like, I mean, it's communicating, but it's not effective communicating. We need like the official stuff, like, you know, about like where are we going with the skins, where are we going with the classes, where are we going with the next roadmap, where are we going with the quality of life. Like, I think the Amazonians really need to realize that we're not dumb. Like, I'm talking about we as in the viewers. Like, they're not dumb. They know what's going on in Korea, and they don't want to be second-class citizens, right? So, like, the quality of life stuff, like, where is that shit? You know what I mean? Like, just explain to us what the issue is. If this is coding, tell us. Is it because they want to be dumb and drip feed, just tell us. Like, I don't know why they don't just sell it. Like, the hairstyle is cool, but like, there's just so many that needs to come out.
Yeah, this
You
was
know
a
what I
big
mean?
thing we talked about the last time, right? Was that
Mm.
I was yeah.
Because when I played WoW just like you, and when I came to this game and I looked at the auction, I was just like, dude, this is the best, man. And we have that in NA, right? So I was like, whoa. But
Mm-hmm.
AR has a new stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I mean,
I feel like I'm using the 1990s BattleNet when I use this auction.
by
I'm
the way,
talking dial-up modem.
by the way, I only limited you to
Oh,
one
shit.
because then I'm sure you will name everything that they are going to name as well. So I just, we can talk about all of them. But yeah, I actually totally agree with you on that. I think that's one of the big things right now is it's like, not that they're communicating a lot, I would say, but it's not the type of communication that players are looking for. It doesn't have to be direct answers, but I think it's just not. Anyway, Saint, what do you think? If Smilegate, Amazon, what's the one thing if you think they have to prioritize and focus on? What is that right now?
So Smilegate and Amazon really dropped the ball on the first roadmap. It took forever for it to come out. And honestly, it not only was underwhelming, but it had a very faulty foundation at best. Like there were so many things that were subject to change, which is, I mean, I understand why they're doing that because, they want some wiggle room in case they need to make adjustments on the fly. But if I were them, because, May is now, and so the first roadmap is ending, I would make sure that, the summer roadmap and covering the next 3-4 months is as good and as thorough as it can possibly be, because this next coming roadmap, it's essentially a promise that the game can deliver and that players should spend their time on Lost Ark, especially given during the summertime there's a lot of reasons to go play other things. So if they want players to have a lot of faith in the game, they should make sure that the next roadmap comes in a timely notice and provides as much details as players actually want.
Good. I think that's definitely on the money. It definitely felt kind of lackluster for waiting for so long for that roadmap, right? We waited a good bit for it, and then it just felt like nothing was certain. And I think it was out of fear of being too certain on anything after Argos, right? Benji, what do you think? What do you think is one thing that Amazon and Smilegate really need to focus on right now?
I think they had their time preparing or launching, I guess, in the West, like in terms of stabilizing the game, finding their audience and stuff. I think right now is a good time for, as Seals and Saint said, and I think we all agree that they need to do better communication, proper way, marketing. Basically, they need to hype it up for the summer. I think this is a good time. Where is the Luon? Well, if not Luon, if that's too difficult, where's the stream? The stream is not that hard, like Twitch stream or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, they need to do something like a marketing, like a proper marketing to reach out to everyone, not just forums with a couple of words or letters. Like somebody needs to come out and talk about the future roadmaps, do a proper presentation. We're waiting for Amazon and Smilegate. I think this is the part where we use the stare emote. When proper roadmaps stare.
Yeah, that's a good one, brother.
Yeah.
What about you, ATK? What's one thing that you want to see them focus on?
I mean, I have to agree with like everyone here about communication, right? Let me if I give a good example, like during Christmas, right? When you play the game, they use the server message to check out the stream or like the YouTube stuff, right? And they communicate with us about like about how they're progressing, like all these things. But the important part is they use the game's message, like the game server message. Posting, okay, I'm not a person that I don't look at forums. I don't look at Reddit, right? I don't look at as many Twitch streams either. The thing is, majority of people don't look at forums. It's
Mhm.
not gonna help communicate on the forums. Like they gotta use the game somehow, or even at the same time. Like as in, you know, the way there's a lot more things to communicate than just forums and stuff. So they have to find, again, as Benji says, turn out, like, do some Twitch streams or make more content, like post a YouTube video, or even at the game, they can just use the server message, saying like, hey, there's this thing that we want to release about the roadmap. Go over here, right? And people who don't look at forums, they go like, oh, what's this server message? That's it. That's when some of the streams on the Korean section had like 100K viewers on one YouTube channel, but the guys didn't even subscribe to the channel, right? But so these are the things that they need to try. It's like they're trying to communicate to more people, right? They're not doing that, right?
Mhm.
Just because a CM posts like a couple of things about the roadmap on the forum, no one knows, because people who don't read it, they're not gonna care about it.
Yeah.
But if it's something that is important for them to express, they should try their best as much as they want to share with everyone else, right? Instead
Yeah.
of just try to utilize the tools that they already have when the tools suck already,
Yeah.
right? And at the same time, there's also another hot topic, since like if I had to choose like a more, is I don't know if this is true, but they need to open up their API. I don't know what
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know what the Amazon's doing. I don't know if it's an Amazon thing or a Smilegate thing. I am tired of looking at screenshots of different players
Mhm.
to decide to give proper like consulting to their builds.
Mm.
Okay, so you don't need to, like, like Zeus, like the API stuff, like the
Mhm.
I forgot the
Auction.
Ice Pang stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The Ice Pang stuff auction, there's a calculator, all that stuff. I'm not asking for that kind of thing. MMO needs like some kind of an armory to
Yeah.
look at other people and like what they do. Blocking that is like
Mm.
you don't what is it? You're putting a wall around people's houses. Yeah, like it's like there's no way you can see other people's stuff.
Mm.
And if you block an API, that's basically like, it sucks. I'm just gonna say it straight up. Like
Yep.
if you don't open it up, like it's just like hinders the growth of like the community, right?
Mm.
And if API is opened, I'm pretty sure there are people in the US community as well that is really good at developing side stuff utilizing the API, right? Like in a market calculator, that kind of stuff. None of that stuff can be done because they blocked it. I don't know who blocked it,
Mhm.
but they should really figure that out.
Mm.
Because one, if they have something like Loa for the US players, it'll be much easier for us to look at their characters and give proper feedback,
Mm.
right? If there are a better way to look at the auction house through the website, they can do that as well.
Mhm.
But it just makes, like, if I was a US player, I would not play the game. That's how much hindrance it is. I would just go to Korea and then play the game. Like, it's like, I don't know what is the advantage of like the US server right now with the QLs that they have. There's nothing. But the thing is, these are small changes. They're not. They're not communicating. Two, they're just not doing it.
Mm.
Right. That's why some people are asking, like, how do you play the Korean server? How do you play the Korean server? Why do you think they're asking that? Because it sucks. The NA stuff
Man,
sucks.
I just feel
Like someone's gotta say it.
the Amazonians are just too fucking scared, man. They're playing
Yeah.
defense. They're playing like too safe, man. Like it's
Mhm.
gonna just bleed players like this.
Mm.
Like they're not going bang, bang, bang. They're just going like
Yeah.
they got the tails between. I mean, they got the tails between their legs. Like they should have been more expressive about the express. There's nothing about like the API. Like I made a video about it, and a lot of people
Mhm.
went to the forums to talk to
Yeah.
them about it. They're like, we'll collect feedback. And, what's the next step? What happened after that?
I mean,
Like
Oh,
it just feels
go
clunky. Yeah, the quality of life really feels
Yeah.
clunky.
Mm.
But like if the community is willing to help you to make
Right.
the game experience better, why are you blocking it? Like that
'Cause
makes
they're
no
scared,
sense to
man.
me.
Do you think it's
Yeah,
Smilegate?
they're
Do you
scared
think it's
that
Smilegate or Amazon?
you know what? I don't
There's-
know, because I might think like these are the things I can't really say because, like, you don't know, right? But the thing is, it's not there, right? That's the problem. We gotta we gotta say the problem where they're not letting the community help the growth of the game
Yeah,
by
people
blocking
just
stuff.
it's just they're adding like layers of annoying shit.
Yeah.
Like the auction house and the like. I want to like if people want to inspect other people, like other characters, or stuff like that, like APIs, or as a community, we could also blacklist some offenders through the API.
But
Mm.
I thought, for example, right? The Twitch extension thing, the official, you
Mhm.
show the build stuff. That's doo-doo, man. It doesn't show shit.
It's pretty
I mean,
bad.
that means there is an API somewhere.
I
not
guarantee you
making
that if the API was a public one, someone would make a better one within a day.
Yeah, exactly. Within like 3 hours, man. Like, come
Yeah.
on. Like, they're not opening because they wanna just what do you call it? They just want to make it not open so that they can just do it themselves. But usually, the community just makes better things because you're passionate about if you're passionate about a certain thing, it's better than paying someone to do it. Obviously, like that's why that's why indie games are great too, because they're passionate about like making the stuff. And like again, like I want to look at people's characters, man. I don't want to look at a screenshot. I want to click some things, like see what the collectibles that they had. Like Stoopzz has seen Loa, like the Loa stuff, right?
Yeah, that's what I
That
use.
stuff is super simple to make, but that stuff is very simple to make. And the reason why it's not out is because I bet they blocked. Like I'm not a very technological guy, as you guys know, because my camera's broken, right?
Yeah.
Camera's broken the first half of the. But if these things exist, and if other people don't get it, it is not fair.
Yeah.
Right? And these things can be fixed. They're just not doing it, and they should do it.
The last time I got really mad at, so I'll go on and say what I said. Last time I got kind of annoyed at the communication. That's what I complained about, right? I said the communication was the thing. And also, I don't want to bum out like the chat of the community by like making it. I think summer will be a really fun time for a lot of you guys. I think most of us up here are just really frustrated because we think it can be done a lot better, right? So I want to be really clear about that. I don't want like people to get bummed because I read some like really weird shit in chat. Like, like I was reading some weird messages. And usually that's what happens when you start like complaining, then you start getting like weird complaints. Like, yeah, like what about the Makoko emotes? Where are those? It's like, what the fuck is that? So like I'll just read stuff like that. So I just
those.
I just want to.
Are good too. Though.
I know, but it's just like it starts getting to this. What I want to say though, for me, I would say all great points. I'm gonna pick something else for the sake of just the conversation. I think that one of the things that I feel like if Amazon and Smilegate could focus on one thing, they have so much content, right?
Yeah.
So much of it. And I know you can't release a class every week. I know you can't release a raid every week. I know you can't release, but I know it's the localization of things. I know that we get these big patches, but I feel like because there's so much to release, Lost Ark's greatest strength is that the fact that it has all of this content, right? Has so much of it. And I think consistently feeding the player base with stuff like that, whether you just, you push out more of it and then just release it on a weekly basis. Hey, this week you get new hairstyles. Hey, this week you get a new skin. Hey, this week you get, Abyss trials. Hey, this week you get new emotes. Hey, this week you get new mounts. Hey, this week you get like the new class. This week you get a new raid, right? You're constantly feeding out content. So there's always things coming out like events, and just having more of it front loaded and then being able to release it weekly. So it feels like you're consistently getting that dripped content versus like, all right, it's all going to come here in this one big patch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
wait 2 months and all of this. I feel like they're not playing to their strength of having so much content, right? They have so much of it. Let's start pushing it out faster. Doesn't all have to be vertical. Push it all in a patch, have it ready to be localized and ready to go. And then, hey, this week skins, this week haircuts, this week da-da-da. And then every week it's exciting to see what's up, because that's what's best about Korea. Every Tuesday, what's coming out. Right? We don't get that experience here.
Every week you get something changed.
In KR, QOL, something. And I don't like that we're getting these giant Frankenstein patches. Now, I know what Saint's probably thinking. Hey, well, it's not their game. They have to wait. Yeah, I know that's what he would probably tell me. But like, whatever. Well, I've just had this conversation with Saint before, right? But they got hit with it now. That's funny. But I feel like maybe they could just have it all there ready at one point and then release it weekly, so it feels like there's something exciting rather than just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Oh, by the way, next week you get all this shit. It's like, well, fuck, you know, I want the game to feel more lively because you have so much content. Does that make sense?
You know when they do that, if they go wait, and they release like a big thing, I'm worried that you already lost some people already. Like the people already left.
To be
This is
fair,
what I'm saying, man.
To be fair though, I know we're gonna go on the Steamer thing, but to be fair, the game's holding. If people would have quit by now, I honestly think they would have quit. The game's been out for 3 fucking months.
Exactly.
People are doing Argos. They're living in Yoho Simulator. People clearly like the game. The game has this like weird cultish following. People like it,
Well,
and I think
Korea too.
What I want to say is,
yeah,
like Smilegate, like I feel like when I think about Smilegate in my head, I feel like those guys don't go home, no weekends off. When I think of the Amazonians, they got all the fucking
9 to
days
5.
off. I don't even. What are they doing?
9 to 5.
Honestly, what are they doing? I get really
9 to
upset
5,
because, like,
man.
I don't. What are they doing?
yeah.
You're not coding shit. Like, just make a video about the Express.
No,
What
Tweet
thing
some
is
stuff. Make some.
You know the
advertise.
US times, man. The Wednesday, Thursday is the real work days because Friday is party day.
I remember
Monday,
I have
you're
a job. I
hangover.
go to office. I do nothing, man. That there.
I
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think they have a lot of content. I still agree with that though. I don't want to keep banging on the same issue because we brought it up, but I really feel like the marketing. I don't know. To be fair, I don't know what game actually does other than let's say KR Lost Ark. Which game has a cool YouTube presence, social media? I mean, I just saw the World of Warcraft one, and I'm not. I mean, it was, I guess, pretty big, but it's like, welcome to the survival guide for 9.25, where you can get your hands. You know, they have those things, and then you also have like, you know, dragons, and then it's like, this is so cool. I mean, usually, like that was the last.
I mean, it's
usually it's pretty bad. I feel like marketing for most games isn't that great. Chat's naming a bunch of examples. Most game marketing sucks. It's usually out of touch. Doesn't
we're not
feel
asking
good.
For
S tier, but it should be better. I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Just make something. I mean, streamers will react to it naturally, and then it's gonna be word of mouth anyway.
Yeah. Right. I guess.
But you know, if you work at a corporate space, you have to back up with data with everything, but you can't really back up data with what this natural things that what you have just said.
Yeah, as Sue said, like people wanted to quit. That's not what I'm worried about. Like these are opportunities to get the people back or win new players, especially during summer. And summer is huge. Everyone's gonna be competing. All the game companies are gonna be competing for eyeballs.
Try hard.
Yeah, Amazonians like you gotta do something, man.
Do you? Okay. To be fair, do we think the trailer for this? I thought the trailer was actually pretty good. I crapped on their YouTube channel pretty hard the other day on stream. I thought the last trailer, I actually thought it was pretty good. I thought the Lance Master trailer was pretty good. Compared to their other trailers too, like oh my god, some of them have been so bad. Like the regular launch, we were watching. We were watching. What was the show? Heroes of Arcasia. Do you remember Heroes of Arcasia after Arcane came out too? It was such terrible timing.
Oh shit!
And then as Jackie Chan with boobs as the war dancer, and as Patrick the Starfish, the announcer, the Lost Ark. And we were watching that shit, and it was. So I could not watch that. I would say that the last trailer was good, but yeah, I think we should revisit before the summer and talk about the marketing going up into it, because I agree they can't fuck that up because it's too big of an opportunity, and I agree with you. They should be killing it and trying to bring in new players and win players back. I think you guys are all in the money.
Yeah, like I think someone in your chat got confused. Like I'm not saying that Smilegate is not holding something back. I'm talking about if I don't care what Smilegate is doing. I'm not defending them. I'm just saying they're probably busy. They're probably busy coding the game and having meetings, balancing the game and stuff like that. I'm talking about while they're doing that, what are the Amazonians doing? Is what I'm saying, right?
Maybe they're blocking bots.
Okay, well,
Okay, yeah,
let's talk about the bots.
Cool.
Okay, I mean, see, I feel bad. I deleted some topics because we're getting 3 hours, and I don't want to keep you guys too long. I feel kind of bad, so I deleted some topics. Let's talk about bots. I want to move us along because, you know, it's 3 hours. I don't want to keep you guys too long. Bots. Okay, the bot situation. Now, for me, you know, right now there are Saint told me from the very beginning that there is going to be an insane amount of bots in Lost Ark. I remember we talked about this a long time ago, that there's going to be an insane amount of bots in Lost Ark. It's a free-to-play game. Bots can farm really well in this game, but you know, they'll have trouble keeping up at some points during the game. But you know, and now, you know, Asma makes this video where he's doing the you know, like the math charts and the, you know, calculating how many and whatever, like. The game is going up, right? And it's not all players. I'm sure some people haven't patched, but we're looking at maybe 200,000 bots or something, right? That's an estimate. I think Saivo did a video on it, right? And I'll just say that I hate seeing the bots for a new player experience, right? I don't care about the bots, like the bots farm mats, whatever. I hate it as a new player experience. I hate seeing them in the cities. It annoys me. You know what I mean? And
cockroaches.
like little cockroaches, you scatter, you know, they freak out.
Bugs. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting. You know what I mean? And adding the queue times, and recently did a VPN change, and a lot of people are really upset about this VPN change. It's hard to tell. It's what you said, ATK, one time. It's hard to tell how many people this actually affects versus people that just want to like talk about it. You know, you mentioned this with classes in general. That's how it is with everything. Saint, what do you think about the bot situation in Lost Ark? What do you think about the VPN change? People were adding me like crazy about this question, and I really want to hear your thoughts about it because you brought it up to me a long time ago.
I thought we were going to be blocked from accessing the West until someone in chat told me that Zeals was still able to access it, so that was a relief. But I do know that there's quite a few people that I know of that are acquaintances of mine that were accessing the game from like blocked countries that can no longer access the game because VPNs are no longer working for them. And I feel really bad for them. And one of the bigger issues here is that this was a countermeasure to deal with the botting situation, but almost immediately, bots had already found a way to circumvent this, which is really, 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 I mean, it defeats the purpose of the measure if it's not effective. You know, what's the point if it didn't actually do anything? If anything, the queues have gotten even worse. But when it comes to bots, I always see people saying that like, why isn't the publisher doing a better job? Or why don't they just hire someone to sit in game and just anything, like that doesn't do anything. You cut off one bot, 3 more appear in their place. Lost Ark is an opportunity for people who bought to make a lot of money. These are people that are in other countries where the US dollar is extremely powerful. And they make a lot of money that let them live basically like kings by botting in overseas and foreign countries. If you find a way to block them, they will work tooth and nail to go around that block because that directly affects their revenue, their profits. You're not going to be able to stop them. And people suggesting things like, oh, just do what Korea does. That kind of thing wouldn't be tolerated in the West, having your identity tied to your account like that. People would throw riots and fits and storms. It is extremely hard to deal with the botting situation. And honestly, it's not hard for them to just make another Steam account. And then people say, oh, attach 2-factor. You really think 2-factor is going to stop bots? They can spoof phone numbers so easily. So it's a losing battle. It is absolutely 100% a losing battle. And Lost Ark is probably the biggest MMO to release in the recent years. And so, of course, the botting activity is going to go through the roof. And it's an opportunity for them.
Yeah, I was going to say that with the bot situation in general, it's like, it's also a little weird because you can see, I know RuneScape has terrible botting. I know League of Legends actually has botting when people sell accounts in these customies, but you can track the number. So I would say, let's say like, you know, on average, this is 550K people logged on yesterday or something. Let's say 250,000 of them are bots. Let's say 300,000 of them are bots, right? But in most games, Lost Strike's a really popular game, and these bots are making a lot of money because half the chat's a G2G enjoyer. So of course they're gonna keep doing it, right? And the thing is you can track like player numbers. So it's a live example of a very popular game, and you can track the growth in the player numbers of the game. So I think it makes it even more apparent, right? And then people are talking about it. But Benji, I wanted to ask you, have you ever seen bots in KR?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We used to have a lot of bots farming Adventure Tome stuff.
And you see them now?
Not as much anymore. I
Yep,
think what
not
they
as much
did is so they kind of ban the bots periodically, right? They'll post a list of the bots they banned, like 50,000 accounts. I feel like was it around that time where we were limited character creation or they merged servers or something? So I feel like what they have to do to solve some of these situations is ban the bots, limit character creation for a little bit, merge servers so the capacity is kind of tight, and then I feel like that's the only way to get rid of bots, like or like not totally get rid of, but like solve some of these issues.
Yeah. The VPN thing, I mean, if that, we'll see on this Thursday, right? I think this Thursday will be pretty telling with the VPN thing if it's actually doing it. Because every Thursday, everything kind of goes offline. You can see there's like an impact in like the player numbers. So we'll see this Thursday if it has anything to do with anything. But if it doesn't, the problem is though. Okay, so then what do you think about this? I'll leave it to you, Zeals. What do you think about this thing? Because the VPN thing they said is like their way of like saying, hey, well, we're doing this because you're not supposed to use a VPN anyway. It's against the Steam's terms of service. Do you think they should revert the VPN thing, Zeals, or what do you think they're going to do? How about that? Not what do you want? What do you think they're going to do?
The VPN thing they talked about before launch, right? They made it pretty clear. They're not going to change TOS. They're not going to change the rules. But as Saint said, and as I said, I called it, man, like as well, there's always a workaround. Those bots crawling back in immediately.
It's like
I think you guys get the message, right?
It's like a
Yeah.
virus.
Where do you go from here? You don't need me to lay it down how it goes from here. Like, Yeah. So I think is it a good rule? No, I don't think it's a good rule.
I feel like chat still doesn't get it. somebody was like, we lose to the bots.
Well,
They just don't get it. But
I mean, when I was talking about stuff, like obviously people disagree with, like people can disagree. What I'm going to say is it's like the Korean server for at least like Lupion, right? There has been bots, right? But there's less bots, and the reason being is you can't make new characters anymore in Lupion, right? Because it's full. It's completely full, right? And since it's completely full, all you need to do is just keep removing bot accounts, and then just keep adding new players in, so you can't make it anymore. So you're kind of having a server with just players only. That's why Ninavi has bots, because it's a new server, right? So it's gonna keep repeating that over and over. So I think things that I've said for NA is like you just have to do it manually, man. Like as in keep banning and put new players in, and then if the server happens to be just filled with players only, but no one's gonna do that. It's just a lot of manual work. Like it's like sit down. Like I mean, if someone sits down in Vern, press the button, ban, press the button, ban, press the button, ban. Like I mean, he even though he comes back, still like it's showing that they're trying something. At least they've tried something. Maybe it could be better.
I wish they just fucking banned RM tiers.
I'm gonna be honest. I make the GTG enjoyer meme, but I feel like, dude, they should be. I mean, some people got banned. Like Limit Max got banned, right? Because somebody sent him gold. Got permit banned. Liquid Max, I should say, got banned, perma banned, because someone sent him 300,000 gold.
I mean, not like that, but
shit.
Yeah. He got banned because somebody sent him gold.
There's that problem too.
I think they should be. Yeah, I don't know, but the problem the problem with this RMT shit is like, what if somebody just sends you gold, Zeals, and then you get banned for that?
No, like not like that. Like that is bullshit. But I'm just saying, like accepting something like a trade in a game and you're getting banned like that, I think that's bullshit. But I'm talking about like, you know, in a like I don't know, like RM tiers, the known offenders, repeated offenders. Yeah, we need an FBI man in the game.
Yeah,
Track 'em down.
because right now it's
Squad cars rolling in.
Chat doesn't give a fuck right now. Chat's just spamming Giga Chat G2G Enjoyer, but that's what's feeding the bots.
It is.
But again,
You know?
but as I said, like, you know, when like the VPN stuff, right? There should be, for example, if there's a problem, there are many different solutions, and what you usually do is you try to find the easiest solution and the most least amount of investment required to fix that problem. And if it's the VPN thing, they're trying to pull out some weed out, but they burnt the whole forest, kind of thing, right? So they gotta try something else, like do it manually or something, man. It's not that hard. Like
This
just
guy,
try it.
I have to say this. There's a guy that's up a Pija in chat. First of all, he has World of Warcraft in his name. I always have to point that out. But he's saying streamers buy gold too. Yeah, I buy gold from the goddamn cash shop. I don't buy gold from fucking G2G. Like, what are you talking about?
I just want a Berserker
even know
Fury.
what-
I want a Berserker Fury so bad. Like, what are you talking
Like,
about?
I didn't know what.
But he has World of
G2G
Warcraft in
was.
his name too. I mean, shit,
I
brother.
thought isn't G2G the site where you buy like Steam keys?
No, it's
Yeah,
a
that's
gold
what I
buying
thought.
website.
I see.
Yeah, that's why I say G2G Enjoyer, because it's a.
Did you guys get an email about? Did you guys
Oh,
get an
it's
email about
G2A.
sponsored by? Like, we would like to sponsor.
Oh yeah, I
you,
get
we're
them
a
all
gold
the
seller."
Oh, yeah,
time.
man.
Yeah.
Dude, I
That's
heard
what I
even
thought.
CM Rocks got that email.
Yeah,
yeah.
she put on Twitter that she got the email. She got the she got the email as well. I'm reading some fried shit. Okay.
But Stoopzz, yeah, like even in Korea, man. When the whales are going for the Esther weapon, they don't RMT because they're scared that they're gonna get fucking.
Dude,
wiped.
I would be terrified, man. After all the work you put into the game, man,
Mhm.
to lose
don't
my
wanna get
account,
banned.
that would be fucking.
Yeah.
I would quit. I would just go play on Korea. If
Yeah.
I got banned on NA, I would just legit quit. I would not.
Yeah,
play
like
again.
if like you know, I'm not saying ban all the arm tiers like an instant. I'm just saying like if like the notable ones got banned and they have fear in them,
Yeah,
maybe they second out themselves. You know?
yeah. Got to do
We
like
just-
the witch hunt. Hunt some people, make
That
an example
plus
out of some
just-
people,
It
right?
just needs a lot of manual work.
Dude,
You gotta
in
do
Yeah.
some manual work.
in Russia, I think they would put you in debt. I don't know if they do that. They would put you in debt, so they would take your gold and they'd make you negative. So if you bought like let's say like 1,000,000 gold, you'd be negative 1,000,000 gold. You just can't play the game because you're just
Holy
you're just
shit.
having to farm and you have to farm back the gold and you're still
Oh,
negative.
God,
That reminds me
dude.
of
And so you have to
ATK.
buy it from them to clear a balance. It was
Yeah.
fucked, dude.
Yo, in ATK, you know, in Genshin, if you leaked content, they sued you.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Right? Yeah, 6-digit sue. Yeah.
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 I mean, you gotta do it that way, man. So
Send a message. Yeah,
put
you gotta
some-
send a
you
message.
gotta send a
man.
message, man. But in order for you to send that message, you need that manual work. I mean, you know, it's just
Yeah, FBI,
Well, what's
man,
the
they gotta
Ama-
roll up.
what's
dude.
Amazon doing? If Amazon doesn't have anything
Undercover,
else to
undercover,
do,
dude. Undercover gold seller.
yeah,
dude.
man, they can just do that.
They should
they
have.
can
like,
make
Amazon
they can make
employees
content off of
spamming
it too.
chat, dude. Spamming chat to
can-
buy gold, and then they track them, man.
They can make content off of it, man.
So I have a couple more topics, and we're gonna wrap it up. Okay. I want to get everyone out of here. I know you guys are tired and you have shit to do. Saint streaming. I want to. This is a little bit longer than last time, but it's great. I think chat's enjoyed it. You guys have enjoyed it so far. Chat,
Yeah, it's
everyone.
fun.
It's been fun, and you guys here as well. I think it's been a good one. Actually, this might be the better one of the few that we've done. Lost Ark is a newer game, right? Saint, you talk about this a lot, that the story is very short from being finished. It's like 15%. And a lot of people compare Lost Ark to some of these older MMOs, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy. The truth is the game is how many years old? A little over 3 now?
Approaching 4.
Approaching 4 years.
Oh, sorry, 3.
Approaching 3 or it's approaching 4, right?
Approaching 4. Approaching
Yeah.
4, sorry. Yeah.
And
Lot.
that's crazy to really consider it. That's a much younger game, and the game is just going to be changing a lot, right? Just think about how much the game has changed in the past year. Who knows where the game will be in a year? It's pretty exciting stuff, right? We were talking about things being really exciting, looking forward. the new raids. One of the things I really like, and I wanted to talk about this, and something that I think just want to get everyone's thoughts on, is cosmetic rewards. And I know this sounds weird, but cosmetic rewards coming from end game content, and we're seeing this change, right? Hard mode April Pet, April Horns, because in Lost Ark in general, a lot of people don't know this, that in order to complete your end game sets, you don't actually have to finish the whole raid, right? And so people are incentivized. A lot of the truth is how many rate, type 1 in the chat if you pug all of your content or most of your content, right? You probably pug a lot of your content. You don't have a static, you don't have a guild, whatever. You just pug a lot of it. Well, that would suck if in order to finish your set, you got to clear the entire raid. Fortunately, in Lost Ark, you can do April 1 through 4, right? But then there's not as much of an incentive to do 5 and 6, right? You just maybe get your set a little bit slower, but you're still getting your set, right? But then they're starting to add cosmetic rewards, right? And I feel like one of the things that Lost Ark has, and we see this even with the dungeon release, right? People are asking, how much gold do I earn from the new Abyss dungeon? Oh, you don't earn any gold, right? The first question is, how much gold do I get? But the problem is you can't keep adding. This is the topic I want to talk about. You can't keep adding gold as a reward because you're just going to keep adding to inflation. And then what happens is now we're capped at how much gold you can earn per week per raid. So you can do 3 per character, right? 3 raids a week per character. And the unfortunate part is that, well, that's just limiting content. And then some raids become obsolete, right? As you add more and more raids and add more and more gold, well, then people are going to stop doing the older raids and you're just capped in general. But I like this approach to the wings that come, the mount now that comes from this Abyss dungeon, right? There's the ones that you can earn via the token. And then now you can get these rare drops, the red, I believe, and I think the black is also a drop, if I'm not mistaken, but the red is, correct? These are really exciting. I feel like this is more valuable than gold, right? Cosmetics that you can earn that are a low drop rate will keep me more engaged in the game than just earning 1,200 gold a week. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'll pull up a video of it during this as you guys are chatting so I can show chat if they haven't seen these wings that you can earn from the new dungeons. But I guess, Benji, I'll give it to you. What do you think about these new cosmetics? Are they more enticing to you than gold? Do you think Lost Ark needs more of that? I know a lot of people like to collect stuff in Lost Ark. It's like adding horizontal earnable content to vertical content. Do you have, what do you think about the pets, the horns, and these wings in general?
The pets, the horns, the wings in general, according to Smilegate, did say a lot more people are now trying for a brochure phase 5-6 where it was giving you the April pet. So it was definitely working for the community. Abyss dungeon, not only the wing mount, but it also gives you mats to upgrade your stone. So on top of cosmetics, they're also giving you they're allowing you to upgrade your stone to another level, to the white ones. And I feel like that stone is going to be really important for the next Legion raid, having that extra health. So I think it's a prep for the next Legion raid.
I know Zeals. I remember listening to your stream a long time ago, and we both played WoW, and I remember you were big into getting rare cosmetics, right? You were huge into collecting tier 3 on multiple characters, right? And you're big into that type of stuff in general. You have all the legendary skins, or a ton of them, right? So what do you think about these new cosmetics that players can earn from doing endgame content? And do you think this is going to be the approach going forward, rather than just offering gold as the main repetitive incentive outside of completing your gear set?
I think it's a good idea that not only is there 1, but there's 2 mounts. Actually, there's 3. 1 off a vendor. So you need to do hard mode for like 4 weeks to get it. So like you're incentivized to go back and get the wings. And I'm glad it's the RNG drop instead of guaranteed. Kind of happy about that. I know some people don't like RNG, but it makes you go back and do it. It feels like the good old mount farming.
Yeah, I missed.
Yeah, and wow, I missed that.
And it feels just as good if you get it. It feels so good.
Yeah,
if you get it.
So like I want to
happy.
go back with ATK and Ohbenji on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. Like I'm like fucking dying, dude.
I'm probably gonna kill it faster this time.
Yeah. It's a lot
That's-
of good things. Like it's the challenge. There's the other vertical rewards and the horizontal rewards. I think all three works really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that for me is. Oh, my camera's frozen. Monka.
Saludo!
I think that is one of the few things that the game could really use. For some reason, it's frozen in OBS, but it's not frozen here.
What
Huh?
happened to my camera?
Oh, all of them are frozen. Wait,
all
how?
of
Wait,
them
how are?
It's-
How are
it's-
you not the one that's frozen?
Wait, ATK?
I know, it's so weird.
What the hell is that?
You were the one with.
I don't know. I was the one with the camera problem too.
What? You just froze us all.
Yeah, man. Why y'all
Did you-
using that time stop, man?
How did that just happen?
I have no idea, dude. I think it's pretty funny when my camera didn't work at the first part of this podcast, and then I managed to freeze everyone else.
Okay, I'm back. Wait, I'm back. Now they're frozen. What the hell did you do, dude?
I have no idea, dude.
That is so
I did that
weird.
JoJo, dude.
That is so weird. Because you know what's weird is that they're moving on my
Yeah,
they're moving on
I
my
see them moving. Yeah.
Discord. I see.
It's okay. It's okay. They don't need our face.
yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, anyway, so that was
You're
that.
forever thinking now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to fix it so that they can, you know, I don't know. I'm not
They
sure.
probably can't see me touch my titties.
Wait, Saint,
now.
move. Saint, move. Move your head. Wait, is Saint moving or is he still a goal?
Saint's moving now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's moving.
Because Saint's like a goal. I can't tell. He's just.
You know he's
No, his
you know Saint's
background
trolling.
fire.
You know that's how Saint trolls. He's just standing still
background
right
fire's
now.
moving, so it's
yep, his
working.
background's moving right now.
Oh.
You know he's trolling.
I'm getting them fixed. I'm getting them fixed for the boys in the back. I'm fixing it. I don't know what the hell you did, but
wow.
you
Saint,
Zay,
that was
you
pretty
actually
good.
JoJo'd
That was
it.
pretty good acting, man.
Wait, were you guys not frozen? I don't know what's going. Listen, it's 12 at night. I gotta render this video. Okay. Anyway, cosmetics being a really exciting thing in Lost Ark, and one of the few things that I'm really looking forward to in the game going forward, because I don't think they can just keep printing gold and adding that to rewards, right? I just think that gold incentive, they're gonna put themselves in a hole where it's just gonna be adding more and more into inflation if they keep adding gold rewards, and they have to find other things that incentivize players to play. And I think cosmetics go further than gold.
Yep, they do.
They
do. You guys like the glows, right?
The glows are everything.
Yeah. Yeah. You go plus 25 for glows, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't because I have a gunslinger, so.
Okay. I was gonna do hell mode raids, but we'll just save that for another one. I think it's getting late. I have the last thing I wanted to talk about today, okay? And I think I want to do this every goddamn one. Okay? Because we always talk about the community in Lost Ark. Okay? And I brought it up the first time, I brought it up the second time, and I want to bring it up again this time. I saw a clip on YouTube about me getting clipped talking about the Lost Ark community. It was like a YouTube clip. And it was like me talking about how much I really like the Lost Ark community, and it was clipped, and people were sitting in the comments of the clip. It was one of those clips channel. They were saying that the Lost Ark community is super toxic, and that their experience playing the game is super toxic. And that's not really what I was referring to. You know what I mean? I was referring more to, I would say, I guess the Twitch audience in general. You know, so if you're on YouTube right now and you're watching this, I highly encourage you to come over to Twitch and check out any of the people here on the screen right now. Their Twitch streams are right there. They're great streamers, super helpful, really fun communities, and I think that the Twitch community for Lost Ark in general is great. And I think you can find, if you're looking for people to play the game with and stay involved in the game, and maybe your friends quit or whatever, because this game's not going to be for everybody, I recommend you come over to Twitch, okay? Because you can find friends there. However, one of the things that I really wanted to talk about is, you know, World of Warcraft is one of the few MMOs, people meme on it a lot, okay? But it's one of the few MMOs in general that is a stable content creator MMO, right? Has regular releases for content. It's been around for a while. And if you're a content creator, someone on YouTube, you can get into making videos for World of Warcraft and do okay. And so on Twitch, right? It's a staple. And I feel like Lost Ark, at least on the Twitch scene, is starting to kind of approach that a little bit, right? There's lots of great content creators, everybody right here. And then also some other people that I feel like people haven't got a chance to check out yet, right? And I want Lost Ark to be a place that maybe content creators and streamers and people can come revisit maybe for the summer, because it's a game that's a bit more staple, or even a year from now. No, who knows where I'll be in a year, but I'm just saying I would like that. I'd like to give other people the chance to do that, because Lost Ark has brought a lot of success for me in my life, has done a lot for me. This community has done a lot for me in my life, right? It's helped me so much and changed my life. And I would like to try to provide that for other people that may not be getting the attention that they deserve right now. So I'll pass it to anyone else, but maybe you, Saint, I know you're always really in touch. You're always lurking other streams. Are there other people that you would like people listening to encourage to go check out on Twitch or on YouTube? Anyone in particular?
A specific person doesn't really come to mind, but there's a lot of people that I think could deserve a lot more recognition in the community. Twitch's space is very unusual because, well, I guess it's not really unusual, but it's kind of like habitual where whenever like there's a game, usually most viewers flock to the streamers who have the most viewers already. And so the viewership concentration is generally towards the top in any given time zone. I would encourage you to look around and check out a lot of the other content creators, because for one, a lot of us on this podcast, our main channel is, our main server is the Korean server. And so sometimes we could be a little bit out of touch with, you know, what's going on in the Western server, but there's a lot of great Western content creators that are regularly producing content on a day-by-day basis. So definitely look around. There's great PvPers, and there's a lot of tournaments that are constantly going on. But at the same time, there's a lot of really, really hardworking Western streamers that are playing like a dozen alts a day, and so they cover a wide spectrum of classes. And they're always happy to answer your questions. So definitely look around, and you'll find that there's a lot of great communities within Lost Ark's community as a whole.
I bring this up because I feel like it's important not only for the community here, right? I mentioned this a lot because I think, again, we need that. These people are a huge part, you know, in the Lost Ark Clips channel on YouTube has been doing a fantastic job, right? Although they're killing it, they're posting a lot of videos and they're marketing the game on YouTube, right? A lot of people will probably love watching the Lost Ark clips or top Lost Ark clips on YouTube. They're doing a great job. I also want to give a shout out to Endy and Kanema. So those two guys, Endy and Kanema, I'm going to have their stuff linked down below. And then if you're watching this and there's someone that you really like, please feel free to comment down below as well. But those two people in general were really helpful for me when I got into the game. And I wanted to shout them out because they know a shitload about the game and they helped me get into the game. And I remember I was going into Kanema's stream and asking him, is this game pay to win? You know, like a year ago or something. Like, is this game? I was like that annoying chatter. So I really wanted to shout those two dudes out because they're super helpful. But I also want to take a quick second to shout out my, ATK's been absolutely killing it. But you know who also has been killing it is fucking Ohbenji. I'm so happy for you, Benji, man. I remember you sent me a DM. I don't know if you remember that in the beta, and you sent me a picture. And Benji sent me this picture. I don't know if I can find it, but he's like, "Hey, Stoopzz, thank you for watching my video. I grew a little bit because of that." And I remember going to your stream, you had like 50 viewers, and now you're killing it, my man. I'm so happy for you and your success and your growth recently. ATK, you've been just slaying it on the goddamn YouTube channel, posting daily videos that are super helpful and informative. So if you guys haven't checked them out, I really recommend that you do check them out because they're very helpful content creators and super friendly. And I always think it's funny that whenever Benji says something, everybody spams Giga Chad. So you've definitely won over.
Because he is a Giga Chad.
Yeah. So I've said praises to Zeals and Saint before, but I just want to shout these two guys out up there because they've been growing a lot, and you know, I just love seeing people succeed in doing something that they like. So I'm really, really happy for you guys, and I'm excited to continue to support you guys and other people in the space as well, because if you're watching the stream right now, Dat Mods and everybody else, I see you in the chat. We need people like you guys in the community. It's really helpful for keeping the game afloat and keeping people entertained and engaged with the community. It's very, very helpful and appreciated. So just want to take a moment
Yep.
to do
It's a
that.
good thing.
If you are wondering too, I'm looking to get a lot of those people on over the next couple of weeks. I will be reaching out to some of those people and trying to conduct a few podcasts. You can look out for more of these in the future, over at least the next couple of weeks, because there's so many people that I do want to have on here that if I'm doing it at the same pace I'm doing it now, it's going to take months. So I will do multiple podcasts over the next couple of weeks if you're looking forward to that, and it'll be on YouTube and Twitch, just so I can get all of those people a little bit of attention and spotlight. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about? It was really long. I didn't mean to rush it or anything towards the end, but it's also 1 a.m. I still have to render, edit, post, tag, timeline, all of this stuff, which I don't mind doing. But I'm curious if you guys have anything else you want to share.
It's a good time, man. You're doing well too, Stoopzz. We need someone like Stoopzz too, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work to conduct these things, so
True.
takes a lot of work.
Thank you.
You gotta talk to like a bunch of people, and you know they like lead it and stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else you guys wanted to share, or anything else you guys want to talk about before I wrap it up?
No, I think I'm just
I think
looking
I'm done.
forward to the summer.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
I think we should do these kind of things more often, though.
I don't know. I'm in a hard spot right now because I don't know if it's too much, makes it not as exciting. If I do them too often, is it like, I don't know if a once a week thing is too much. I don't know if it's overbearing. I don't know how people feel. Go for it, Zeal. Sorry.
I think our raids are the best. Our rating. Like, I think ATK was busy last night, but Benji, Stoopzz, and we were doing some raids, and they were really fun without being organized at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have a static going too.
Yeah.
Have like a character.
I mean,
I
he
mean,
brought it up himself. Stoopzz brought up doing a con together.
Yeah, I want to do it. I want to do a con really bad in
Yeah,
the
we
summer.
should. Yeah. Have Stoopzz ready for a con. That's the goal.
that's
And
my
then
goal.
we just need 3 more. We just need 3 more people. We can and there's enough. We got Saint's friends. We got my friends.
Yeah,
You know?
I want to
Get
do
that
it
8
for
people
sure.
going.
Um,
Get like a character.
I think I mean it's what 1580, 1590 maybe by the summer. It's we'll see. I need to get my hard mode April gear. Let's work on getting that done. I do phase 1 through fucking 4, man. I still haven't done that before reset. Anyway, the reason why I like doing
the 4th gate.
huh? Still through the 4th gate, exactly.
The 4th gate, yeah.
The reason why I like doing these is not just for Twitch content. Like the raids are great for Twitch, but I want to do these for YouTube, and just so they can be shared. And I think a lot of these points I see on the forums. I'm a forum Andy, and people bring up these talking points on the forums. And although it's a little bit more conducted and organized, it's just because there's so many people here. And if I don't know, I feel like I have to kind of push us a little bit more organized if I don't. But obviously I like just chilling and fucking. I was playing with Zeal's off stream this morning. I was literally just sitting in a call with him in my PJs, and I was just chilling. It was really fun. So.
Yeah. Gotta chill sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All of their information will be down below in the description. I'll also have Kanema, Endy, and if there's anybody else in the Lost Ark community that you want to be shout out or seen, put them in the comment section below. I'll read through them and maybe I can conduct something with them as well in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching on YouTube and Twitch, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Goodbye, everyone. This is where you guys say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Later,
Bye.
guys.
All right.